So on our last game of Conqueror of Avernus, a sequel campaign, made homebrew of course, to Descent into Avernus, the party was successful in their original endeavors and managed to meet up with a crazy night hag by the name of Mad Maggie. She had sent them on a long mission through a perilous dungeon, after which they returned to her and found out something rather interesting about this plane of existence. With the power vacuum left from the defeat of Zerial, this plane now knows something of a degree of peace, at least until the end of the month, it's theorized. By the end of Uktar. Until that point in time, it's highly advised not to fight with anybody. Even the river Styx seems oddly quiet. It was a heck of a party at Mahadi's Wandering Emporium, which is where their friend sent them to. Upon arriving, they found out some information, as they are presently seeking a legendary artifact left behind. Though, we do have a new player, and she might be wondering exactly why a group of heroes would still be traversing through Avernus. Because without a doubt, and I'll tell you this for you, Courtney, for your new character, your character would have heard of these crazy adventurers traversing through Avernus, tearing fight after fight with some of the biggest bads, and then eventually winning said fight. During this time, you would also have heard of a city called El Terrell. You know El Terrell, of course, from your backstory, was pulled into the first layer of Avernus. And from what you've been from what you've been hearing, by the same one responsible for your own endeavor you were stuck on, Thavius Krieg. The players might remember Thavius Krieg as the leader of El Terrell, the High Overseer who fled to Baldur's Gate, who then ended up being dragged into hell by certain actions. What the players are not aware of is, when they destroyed Zerial's mighty flying ship, he took Thavius Krieg out with it. Yeah.
Oops. Well, I mean, serves him right, I guess.
He was trapped in an area you didn't quite explore, left there to rot. And that's actually
funny.
part of it. There's a really nice picture from the book showing him, in fact. I'll throw that up in a little bit, because he didn't have the best of endings for himself. And, he got what he deserved. With that, you also heard that they were successful in returning El Terrell to the mortal plane. You would have heard this news, however, after your own shackles were undone, so to speak. We'll get to that, like I said, for your backstory. That all happened around the same time, so of course you started your return journey back. Our players, the group of adventurers, had the most benevolent reason for returning to Avernus. Their victory over Zerial did not come without cost, and the life of one of their own had to be forfeit in order to guarantee their victory. And thus they find themselves returning on the off chance, as it says in the very back of the book, to strike a once-in-a-celestial blow against Asmodeus himself. They intend to conquer this plane of existence and restore their friend's soul. On that, they have found themselves traveling. For specific reasons, as they recall, they met up with Mahadi, a leader of the Wandering Emporium. And, Courtney, it's entirely up to your character, and yourself rather, if you would have ever bumped into the Wandering Emporium. It is literally that. A group of exceedingly large vehicles circled around a caravan. Lots of trade good, lots of sales stuff there, but they wander Avernus. The rules there are simple, no fighting. And everyone abides. No one has ever wanted to take the ire of Mahadi on the chin.
Yeah, I probably would have stopped and talked.
The nice thing about the Wandering Emporium is it does have one unique area that can create demi-planes inside of itself to anywhere you want, which might have been something you went for, strictly because there's a few rules to Avernus that make it a rather inhospitable plane of existence. First off, and the worst off, any food and drink, even that which you can magically concoct. So let's say you use good berry. Any of it tastes dry and rotten, like eating ash in your mouth. Water tastes sour and poor. Nothing has a good flavor. Even if you prepare it yourself as best you can, tastes horrible. Even if you were to go hunting here and eat the flesh of a creature that you caught, like an abyssal chicken. Nothing, no flavor to it. Mahadi's Wandering Emporium, and some very rare entities that you've met across the wastes, have had the good fortune of being able to prepare a good, tasty, proper meal. But anything with flavor might be one of the things your character misses. Furthermore, on this plane of existence, it is as though the sun itself is setting 9 times across the horizon. An eternal evening glint lights the land, never rising, never lowering. There are numerous other problems with this plane of existence as well, but we'll get into them as they come up, because it's literally hell. The first layer, Avernus. I keep saying Avernus, but I think it's actually pronounced Avernus. So, gotta love that Eastern Cape Breton accent. Now, as to where the party finds themselves. Not our new member yet. Our previous members, after parking their vehicle, which I'll get into for fun later, quite a distance away and approaching, they came to this horrendous area where radiant light cascades from a rusted metal monument shaped like the upraised mandibles of a giant beetle. As they slowly approached, and unfortunately came within about 100 feet of it, a bolt of electricity shot forth and annihilated in a poof of smoke Kabashag, which happens to be Alec McCulloch's familiar, presently trapped in imp form. Fun fact, if you summon a familiar, if you try to get an owl on this plane of existence, you get an imp.
Huh.
At that moment, I believe this is how it went, at that moment as well, Sir Junior, which has a considerably longer name than that which you can see by opening his character sheet, which happens to be Nimbar's familiar, came to a dead stop and just halted as he saw the other one poofed in a flash of light. Alec probably had a quick little heart palpitation before remembering, oh, right, I can resummon him, it'll be fine. Just gonna take an hour. The usual stuff. Just, oh god, he's just been unsummoned, I got it. Whew. The amount of damage struck by it. However, what I'm going to need now as that beam of light cascades out, Alec, go ahead and give me a dexterity savings throw. As powerful as the light is, and as damning and damaging as it is to a fiend, you also notice you are not immune to the radiant damage. With an 18, you do skim a pass. However, you take half damage for probably the single highest hit of damage you've seen anything take through this campaign, as you are hit for 132 points of damage as the beam of light blasts the ground, tears through, and strikes you down.
Whoa.
Are you still up or are you unconscious?
That's a little more than his health.
Yeah, I'm unconscious.
Do you know what that means if you didn't pass that save?
Dead.
He would have just been dead.
Yeah, instant obliteration. And I'm gonna go ahead and post what just power that thing hit.
Flux is gonna run over and feed him a healing potion while you do what you're gonna do.
However, I'm putting it in the Discord because I generally don't give too much behind-the-scenes info on the actual game board. But I like posting this up from the book so you know I'm not just being the cruel DM who decided to inflate damage because you're high level. No. This is actually out of the Avernus book.
Holy shit.
I didn't set that background music to loop, did I? Let's fix that. Yeah, isn't that deadly?
What the hell?
So, as Alec is hit by the blast of radiant light, it illuminates the area like a lighthouse beacon, and for a brief second, Alec, you could swear your grandmama was there, and your great-grandmama too, and your great-grandpapa, and your third cousin that you knew back when you were 7 years old, doing that horrible incident with the water. Oh, you're coming too, Flux, chugging a potion down. Just looking at you, patting your cheek.
It's a greater healing. Do you want me to roll for it, or do you want Alec to roll for it?
Oh, you can give it a roll since he was unconscious. Also, Courtney, I don't know if you've ever come across this rule, but you can force feed a potion to an unconscious anything.
Yes, I did know that.
Perfect. Yeah, because there's only about an ounce of fluid in a potion, so.
I'm just thinking about certain capacity, actually.
After I refreshed Foundry, I forgot to hit the button, so it rolled on D&D Beyond, and it's gone before I saw it. It was a good roll, though. I feel bad.
Better hope you get another one. Give it a shot.
We'll see. Oh, it didn't.
You gotta press the, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there it goes.
It's not terrible.
The worst.
So as you're all relaxing and a giant bolt of light strikes forth and hits Alec, Flux is on top of it in a half second, chugging him back a healing potion. And here's a good example. You probably just clicked on that and applied healing with it, right? The right click, because it made life easy. I was about to do it. Bringing Alec back to 14 health. His eyes going wide as he comes to. You know how it is, right? Looking at your fancy new armor like, oh crap, it's not damaged, good.
What happened? Are you okay?
No, I'm not okay. Fucking shenanigans is what happened. What the?
Was it? Did it target the familiar, or is this just gonna hit
That's
anything?
a really good question, Damikos. Take a step closer and find out.
I mean,
And
I'm pretty confident I could actually dodge that, but
you see
I
the
did.
unicorn.
no, I'm confident I could dodge it. I think either Jade or I could probably get out of the way of that thing. I don't know about any of the rest of you though.
I can see Jade giving a wink at that point. It's like, there you go. Don't forget to mention me.
Well, meta knowledge, Jade and I both have evasion, so.
Exactly. It's a very nice power. But yeah, Alec, as he's getting up, coughing up, like, blue light, because, you know, never been hit that hard. I will say, I rolled 264 on the damage for that. Ironically, I rolled it with Nimbar. Here, I'll make it reveal to everybody just so you can see. But yeah, 40d12. I ain't seen nothing that hits like that in this game.
Yeah.
And I will say, you notice the unicorn inside the orb is now sort of scratching and kicking with its hooves and all that, nodding towards the party, trying to get your attention, it seems.
I saw my great grandmother. She was swearing at me.
She was swearing at you?
Yeah.
Rhea, who's crouched down, looking at you head on, she just puts a hand on your shoulder. Wait, quick! Alec, most importantly, she leans forward. Did she teach you any good new ones?
Yes. Something about... I'll get the translation right, but I think roughly it was fire and diarrhea.
She gives a nod, takes out takes a book out with a quill. You just let me know when you remember.
Yep. I can taste light.
Everything's gonna taste like blue for the next month. So with that, anybody coming any closer to it after seeing it blast? Because I will say, Sir Junior is firmly sitting on the ground, And he looks towards Nimbar and just shakes his head, and he's, boss, you know what's gonna happen if you throw me out that thing.
Let's just try this from here. Because it has the range. Sorry, just before I do this, can I confirm we are in fact within like the 85 feet, or are we supposed to be further back but the map can't?
I got you at the right spots, because you had walked forward to about this point where things went kablooey. I had to do some measuring.
Just going to give myself a quick heal there, I think.
Good idea.
Right.
Look a little worse for wear.
I basically gave you your movement almost into it, which is about 25 feet, because you're not running. I gave a 20 foot of movement forward and then had it blast, which would happen in most fights. You'd move and then you'd get hit. Alex, I'm just going to give myself back half my life. Hang on.
I'm just going to cast Dispel Magic, I think, guys.
I'm just gonna take a step aside, just so there's no.
Sorry. Before that happened, like anyone who wants to back away.
Everybody just kind of distancing themselves a little bit from.
Rhea, get over here.
I was gonna say Rhea probably want to get out of the way too.
You can make your Dispel Magic check by all means, because it is a check.
Alright, here we go.
Wow.
Ooh, great roll, John.
Rip.
What's that Chan have to say about that?
Nothing.
Oh, wow. You got lucky. She felt bad for you.
I don't understand, but...
Lux will offer Alec some temporary hit points.
So, as this is happening, Jade will notice it first. I believe you have highest passive perception, then it goes to Alec, right?
22 for me.
I think... Oh, I've got 22 as well.
Oh, okay, so both of you at the same time now. Good. As all this is happening and Alec is getting up and healing himself and all that, both Alec and Jade would notice it at first. In the distance, a great plume of black smoke rising up, and the sound of an engine roaring. Go ahead and roll me actual perception checks. Everybody can. Oh, well, except Bellamy. For obvious reasons.
Sorry, just a second.
Oh, I rolled this right by accident.
I got a 1.
Did she say anything to you?
Maybe it's just attack rolls. But I've not seen anything.
I'm pretty sure it's more than just attack rolls, but I could be wrong.
Oh, good, someone rolled Rhea. Thank you.
You're welcome. I did it by accident.
Oh, even better. And that works. She's actually decent now since she's been turned into a true sidekick. Her stats are actually kind of up there, so it's going to be. Expect fights to be a little bit harder. She's writing that down quick. I could see his grandmama coming up. She goes, "Oh my dear Alec, you got killed. We never turn your orders on your enemies, my friend. I hope they have." She wakes up, And as you're disappearing, you're like, "I'm fine, Mishka. Cool heart, I can Doris. Just a sec, I should point out, Courtney, I'm not actually making fun of Gaelic. I'm using actual of it throwing on top of what he said there, because I know, a couple phrases from when I was a little kid in Cape Breton land. My grandpa taught me some. So it's I always love whenever Alec comes up with these things, or whenever Dean comes up with these things. They're awesome. They just make my day. It's like, ooh! And that's a really, really good one. May you suffer diarrhea from the fire. Jeez. Someone really hated someone for that one. Oh. Bellamy. For Courtney, as we're going to focus on you for a second here. Your character, as you know, has traversed the wasteland, and you've gone through fun, and now you're on your way back. And there you are on your beautiful motorcycle, making your way across the wasteland. Blackened helmet on your head to keep yourself protected in case of a fall. Because, safety first.
Mm-hmm.
You find yourself returning to where you had first personally met that unicorn quite some time ago. And you're about 200 feet out from it when you see it erupt with light. You already are aware of what this thing is capable of, the destructive capacity it has towards fiends only. The ultimate trap, it would seem, for everybody except beings like yourself. And it would appear it just fired, which is enough for you to slow down, because you also know, and I'm just giving you this info from a previous encounter with it, it's going to take at least 60 seconds for it to recharge. Now, on your Devil's Ride, you can certainly make it there in moments. You could be at the edge of the rim of this to see what's going on, if you want to just ride right up on and in and see what's happening. Or you could sneak your way there by stopping a little earlier, but you know well enough from traveling on this beautiful motorcycle of yours. It's not stealthy.
Yeah. I'll probably hang back and just watch for a little bit.
I was a little bit sad. I had a single song I had set up here to play. I was going to start playing "Born to Be Wild" while I was describing your character riding in on the motorcycle. So just imagine. Dun, 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 boom, 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 ba-da, 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 boom, 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 boom.
You hum it to yourself as you sit and watch from a safe distance.
Yeah.
Your character's like, I don't know this song. I heard it a long time ago in college, and I'm just keeping it.
Yeah.
So the lot of you would see that Devil's Ride in the distance come to a stop quite the ways out from your area. Far enough that somebody definitely could stealth up on the party. Bellamy, I can say, in the distance, can certainly see a small group gathered very close to the unicorns. The rest of you, as the motorcycle draws fairly close, but you still don't have a clean view, can make out that it's only the one vehicle and only the one operator.
I would say I'd send my imp out for a look, but events transpired.
Some fucked up shit happened. Sorry, Dean, did you want temporary HP or not? I can give you some. It's the best I can do for healing.
It's your call.
Well, no, it's your call. Do you want it or not?
Yes.
Okay.
I will
She'll be
also
like,
say, while you're setting that temp HP over, the unicorn is constantly braying and knocking at the cage it's in. But sorry, I cut you off there, Jillian. You said you were going to drop him some temp health?
yeah, she'll just kind of pat him on the shoulder, be like, "You'll be okay, buddy."
Cheers, Flux. That's
3 points.
that's great. Yeah, I feel that.
Jillian's intent? Oh, you're okay.
I'm sorry.
Jillian's intent is you're okay, patting him on the back. Jillian's character Flammonoxus, who just went from 26 strength to 30 strength, is like, you'll be okay, wham, wham on his back. You'll be okay.
Yeah, the collarbone's fine. Don't worry about it.
How far away is Lemony's character?
She is quite the distance away. I only have her on the map, so she's there. Your characters wouldn't be able to make her out to the distance. She'd be a little dot on the ride. I would assume, anyway. I'm not bringing her character any closer at this point, because she's no longer a narrative tool. This is, Courtney, that's you to do with as you please. And as she mentioned, she stopped a little ways off so she could at least assess the situation.
Yeah. Alright. So, wait, do I see her with my 17? Or is it only the higher rolls?
Nobody got the perception roll.
A 30 wasn't enough?
Nope. Believe it or not, no.
Wow. Alright,
which means there was something else to notice that I haven't said.
Alright, so I'm going to have Sir Junior turn invisible and then he's going to go like this, like in an arc, so he doesn't get close to the circle.
He's like, I'm going off the map, boss. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's going to like rotate around up to the black speck that we can all see.
Yeah, I was gonna offer to go scout it, but
Is that unicorn within shouting distance?
You can yell at it. It's only like it's about 80 foot away, however much that actually is.
I'll shout in Druidic if it can hear me. Because unicorns must know Druidic.
It gives its head a nod, and in fact, Alec, go ahead and give me a nature check for your knowledge.
Sure. Oh.
With
That's
its 20.
the best I could do.
Shoot. Alec, as he's getting up, rubbing his head, and he's looking up, he goes, "Oh, this is somewhat strange. Unicorns, they can talk, and I can see it's trying to, but they're also telepathic." And you're just rubbing your head like, maybe I'm too far away. Because you've met a unicorn before with a roll of bloody 20. You're like, I was in the woods one time, in a waterfall, and it just showed up to have a drink. We chatted for a while. Its name was Bob. I don't know.
Bob was a good guy.
With a roll of 20, I will say your character's met a unicorn, sure. Because that's
probably what a lot of druids aspire to.
Yup, a good time. And it would have been a bump through. It would have just nodded at you and kept going after a slight conversation. They do speak, but they can only speak Celestial, Elvish, and Sylvan. Beyond that, though, they do have telepathy, and telepathy's where it's at.
Oh, okay. Well, then I would remember that and shout out in Sylvan and start walking towards it.
You also know it's a legendary beast.
These things are like sent by gods to guard special nature stuff.
Oh yeah, they're unicorns.
Yeah.
They're not even that high on a challenge rating. They're only challenge rating 5, but they give them legendary actions for God's sakes at that level. Because it's like, what good campaign is going to kill a unicorn? Every evil campaign is like, we will do it. So, your character's going to approach. However, the reason I asked earlier is if anyone was approaching was whether or not that would trigger before or after people were going to chat to Bellamy. So, as your character's getting up and rubbing his head, he goes, "No, I'm gonna look into this. Hang on. I almost died once. That can't happen twice." I am, however, going to kick on the in-game timer now. You'll notice, Bellamy, there's a nice little pop-up box that has the date and it has a clock on it. Once I hit start, it starts running in real time with us, which makes it really handy to track. I honestly thought it fairly gimmicky until we did a dungeon. Oh my god, it's the best tool I've ever used. So nice, so very nice. So you know it's 1:31 a.m. wherever the hell you are, which is in hell, so you know. It's about the time of day, but it's always morning, so as long as the players get their regular rest, I'm not too picky about jet lag, you know what I mean?
Are they moving forward now? Can I see that?
I believe somebody was making the trip. I think they were sending the imp your way.
The imp was circling around it to you, but the imp was invisible.
Yes, so that's what I was going to mention. If your character has any form of sight to constantly see invisible things, you'd be able to see the imp coming. If not, it's going to be your passive perception. But the imp's not stealthing, is it?
It's kind of flying, but like it's trying to get over there.
Is it actively using a stealth check?
No.
Alrighty. So, I will say then, because being invisible is great, but unless you actively use stealth, it's just an advantage. So, Bellamy, since something's not actively trying to hide, you can see wisps and changes in the smoke as the imp is drawing near to you, but you would have to do an active perception check to spot where it's at. However, if this was a fight, you would be able to swing into the space of the imp. You just have some negatives, since it's not actively hiding. Invisibility is great from a roleplay standpoint, though, because essentially what you see is you see shifts and changes in the smoke, and you're like, oh, I've dealt with invisible things down here before, someone's not trying to be sneaky, you know?
It's just trying to get up to you so it can see. Like, once it gets probably within, like, 50 feet, he'll go stealthy. But, like, to just start with, wouldn't be.
Once you get to that point, you can go ahead and make a stealth check with your imp.
And I can see them moving forward a little bit, right?
Oh, easily.
Okay.
And if you want to go ahead then and give me a perception check for Bellamy.
Okay. Oh, I don't see him.
Nope.
No.
That's an unfortunate roll. Versus a really good roll. Yeah. So you get an 8, and you, as it disappears into smoke, you're like, oh, I know someone invisible here. But you're sneaky.
Yeah, and I can see them moving forward, so I'm going to start up my bike again and start moving toward the unicorn.
Alrighty. So you start that one back up and you start going.
What is the range of that spell?
I stopped moving halfway across because I didn't know how far you wanted me to move.
Well, that's the thing. You get basically a little bit of movement forward. As you do step forward, you are indeed mentally contacted by the unicorn.
Flux is within melee of you. So, well, just to back you up.
And as Flux is walking forward, you'll also overhear the telepathic communication. It's broadcasting it out strong to multiples. I get a little restrictive when players use telepathy. I'm a little different when an NPC is using it in a situation like this. I don't want to have to play, the phone game to pass the message along a couple times. So, as you approach, you could hear it immediately speaking out, saying, "Hail, thine adventurers. Please, I could use thou art assistance in this my lonely endeavor. Please, I beg of thee, help me find a way free of these encaptures."
Why did you zap us?
The unicorn gives a firm shake of its head, and you see it almost looks angry as it stomps its front hooves down. "I did no such thing. Thou art incorrect in your assessment. This device, what traps me here, drains my power and uses it as a weapon for the darkness of destruction. An interesting form of comedic aspiration set forth upon these lands, to blithe any demons who would draw near. Though I revel in seeing such aspects, I also wish to return to my master."
Your master is Mahadi?
It gives a nod of its head once, and you can almost see a smile on the lips twisting at the edge of the horse's mouth as the lips come back, revealing teeth. Think Mr. Ed. "Ah, yes, Mahadi, my wonderful friend. He is but a stone's throw away from here. If thou art so kind to assist in my escape, then perhaps he may reward thee."
Your lucky day. That's what we're here to do. Tell me, though, how does a unicorn come to be in the service to a man such as Mahadi?
Oh, that is, in and of itself, quite the comedic form of communication to bestow upon you. The endeavor that brought me to him was indeed, and as the unicorn begins to explain, we're going to jump back to Bellamy because by now she'd be showing up. Just as you're starting your conversation, you notice the motorcycles come close. We can say you can get probably as close as you are now if you want, just to make life easy on you on the map.
Yeah.
If you're looking to approach.
Yeah, I was looking to go, right up into the unicorn's business, basically.
Perfect.
Yeah, this guy's lagging behind, I'm sure, if you're on a motorcycle. Yeah, damn it. Going so fast on the damn motorcycle, I can't get that quick.
He tried to grab on, but, acrobatics ain't their forte, and, the distance and speed.
Yeah.
Plus, he's not going to come too close to the demon zapper.
Exactly.
So, Bellamy, as you roll up, now that everyone can get a good view of each other, I was going to give a description of Bellamy for the imp, but I have more fun revealing as we go, since even though you can see through the imp's eyes, it's more fun this way. Bellamy, Let me tell you what you see first as you approach. You come to idle on your ride, and you come to a stop a little ways out, and you can see what appears to be a rather potent crew of adventurers. It's very, very, very unlikely that your character wouldn't have some idea who they are, because as mentioned, they've been trailing through Avernus for months now, causing a lot of trouble. It's hard to mix up the description of who they are. Except, only a couple of them would match, mostly because they've lost 3 party members, and been replaced with 2 and got nuked. But it's really hard to mix up the Tabaxi and the Dragonborn with anybody else on this plane of existence. There's not many of them. Most things are evil. And looking upon this group, you do see a Dragonborn. She stands an impressive, what is it, like 6.5 foot for Flux? I think
6'6", yeah.
6'6", towering above most. She is monstrous with the amount of muscle mass that her body carries, but built perfectly like a true machine, the epitome of a warrior ready to smash, with the most glistening armor from head to toe, a gigantic mallet strapped to her back, and an assortment of other weapons that you're not even sure how they're hanging on half the time. She looks like a walking battle monster, with a bit of a grin on her face, too. Beside her as well, you can see a druid that she's presently helping up to his feet as he starts walking forward towards the unicorn. On his body lies the scales of a white dragon, forming armor across his form. A twisted, worn branch as well, mythical in its design, in one hand as he moves. You see they also have a few other companions as well, the tabaxi, who almost appears to slink in between shadows. You're not sure if they're naturally that stealthy or if they're actively trying to hide. You lose sight of them almost. Shadowed armor of blackened studded leather clings to their body, enough to make them appear to be a moving shadow, matching the dense color of their darkened fur. Probably the only player on the team, or the only character on the team, who looks towards your character and they give that squinty eye glance for a half second. As you can tell, they size you up for a brief instance, which immediately makes your head say, oh, that's a rogue. You know. That's the norm for them. They always have that quick glance of, oh, who is this? Before going back to what interests them. As well, you see a portly little scholar. I'm sorry, you're a gnome.
Absolutely.
He stands so short that you're pretty sure you're going to kick him in the head by accident while running, you know? And that makes sense. You're used to gnomes. That's usually about where they stand. He has a broad smile on his face, a pretty good look of happiness to him, and the most magnificent white robes you've ever seen. You haven't seen archmages wear the sort of clothing that this man has on. And oddly, the last one you'd notice on this group of players, that is, we'll get to Rhea in a moment, happens to be of demonic nature at first, before you realize, oh, it's like a tiefling. Reddened wings spread back from his back, and though his clothing more modest, you can tell from a glance that his knuckles have seen so many fights, little more than bandages protecting them. The way he stands and moves and walks, with a quarterstaff on his back, and assured footing and glance, you can tell. He's not made for weapons. He's made to be up close and personal to beat the enemy straight into the ground. And he looks like he's done it a few times for sure. That self-righteous cocky grin, you've seen it on a few monks before. They love the battle. And what does the rest of the team see as they look up and they see a motorcycle riding close? You can all take, by the way, another perception check now.
All right. Let's...
I just want to point out, with the little gnome, you also see a blue face of like it looks like an old gnome just floating beside his head.
Okay.
Yeah, he funky.
See, fuck
Limbar
off.
loves unicorns. He's just staring at the unicorn like, wow, that's a nice unicorn.
Oh my god.
So we've got a pass from Alec, Flaminoxus, and Jade, and Rhea!
Hey, me too. I got 24.
Was that you who got 24? I'm only looking back so far and I think I missed... Oh yeah,
Before
sorry,
Nimbar,
I read a 4. So everyone except Nimbar this time passes. The DC is, in fact, shifting for good reason. The reason I mention this is you look up towards the Devil's Ride, you see bound in nice quality hide armor with a beautiful rapier on her hip and one hell of a blackened helmet that she probably takes off her head as she gets off. You know what? I'd love to give a further description of her character and go into great detail, but she did a great job with the drawing, so it's a lot easier for me to just go, hey, look at this, and do a show to players. Mind you, a little more gruff and tough from being in Avernus for so long. Probably still has a smile on her face, though. As for that high perception check that you all just passed, all of you, with the exception of Nimbar. Nimbar's going, hey, look, a unicorn. Everyone is going, hey, look, our old motorcycle. Yeah, you tell for certain that's the devil's ride that you lost in a bargain to a pit fiend quite some time ago.
What was his name?
Finger?
Big Jim.
Big
Big
Jim.
Jim.
Big Jim.
He rode
Was-
around with Smiler. He took it to
Yeah.
resurrecting Dusty and Lulu.
I guess the first question would be, is Big Jim okay?
Oh, wait, I gotta step back on Rhea's perception check. She'll just point a finger and be like, that's a cool looking ride! She wasn't there at that time. Right.
Neither was Nimbar or Democrat.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, but I gave you the perception checks anyway because I got lazy and wasn't thinking far enough. A note on Rhea Mantlemorn for Bellamy. Now that you're actually here, Rhea Mantlemorn's an NPC. She comes from the original campaign. The players met her really early in the campaign. She ended up protecting El Terrell. When the players returned to El Terrell after saving it, they found Rhea had just died. She had given her life protecting El Terrell. When they decided they were going to go back into Avernus to try to save the life of their friend, she was given a second lease on life. However, she was told, the powers that be told the party that the sand in her hourglass has run out. That was the end of her life naturally. So the time she has now is borrowed time as she goes on a campaign with them. I then told the players if you could keep a challenge rating 3 alive for the entirety of a go kill yourself dungeon, we turn her into a sidekick, and the players are like, well, we'll be damned if she falls now.
We're very stubborn with that kind of thing.
I will say, as you look towards them, you see she's standing in beautiful plate mail as well. Not quite on par with what Flux is wearing, but the humanoid with the red hair, she wears a great plate mail and has a wicked-looking sword on her hip. And you can see on her left arm a shield with a monstrous-looking facade, but of golden design, but you've never seen such a powerful looking shield. Meanwhile, as you're all there, the shield sort of grumbles, who's that one coming here? We got new faces. I'm going back to sleep. Around as Bellamy is getting there and taking her helmet off as well, since Alex in communication with the unicorn, he's just oh, look at that, another one of my friends has shown up to provide thine assistance. Wonderful.
You know her? Sorry, what's your name, unicorn?
Oh, I have a name, and it's a good one.
Do you know Bob?
Oh man.
I do believe actually they left the unicorn unnamed. It's gonna give even a shake of its head and say, we, those of us within the community of animal, are the anima. We know ourselves by look and smell. I carry not a name, as you mortals would assume as yourself. Though, if you wish, you may also call me the name my master uses.
Probably be easier if we have something to call you.
Is White Chocolate Moneymaker.
God.
Do you prefer Coco?
That is acceptable.
Okay.
White chocolate moneymaker.
Oh boy.
Gives a nod of its head and says, I do wish greatly to return to my Mahadi. That would be enjoyable, certainly. He gives me many apples.
That's just... Alec is weirded out. This is weird for a unicorn, he feels.
Can I
The
make
unicorn...
an arcana check?
Oh, it's, for what? Sorry.
Sorry. To kind of figure out, like, how this thing is being powered?
By all means. And I will say the unicorn, in seeing Alec's perturbed nature, gives a slight chuckle and a nod, and it's like, we do not question the way in which thine's help is assisted to the world. We simply follow it. And the unicorn nods once more. Thee makes
I have to
quite
be
the
back real
entertaining
quick.
friend. Sounds good. We'll see you in a minute, Brad. My phone just
Okay.
made noise.
So is the person on the motorcycle within talking distance? Or is this how far we are on the map?
It's up
I've
to
been
her.
slowly just kind of moving forward. Not sure how far I would have gotten in that time.
Okay, so Alec will turn and go, is Big Jim alright?
To me?
Yeah.
The answer to
Who?
that is. I will say, for the knowledge, the Pit Fiend, in regards to your motorcycle, would not have fought to the death.
Okay.
He was actually a pretty smooth client in that regard, you know?
Okay. Perfect.
Big Jim.
Who?
He's the guy who had that bike.
Oh, yeah, he's okay.
The other interesting thing about Big Jim, despite being a pit fiend, one of the most monstrous things in Avernus, he had a really good attitude when you beat him. Big smile on his face, gave you a pat, even explained the little weird nuances to the controls, like you watch the throttle when you're taking it on the turns. Hit it too hard, it spins out. Trust me, it hurts. You know?
Nice. Yeah, he's okay. We got into a fight, and I beat him, and I got his bike.
Seems legit.
Nice.
What are you guys doing here? You guys are that group, right?
Unicorn trouble.
We're here for the unicorn. Sorry, the group. We're part of that group.
What group?
Yeah. Like that group. I don't know. I've heard of you guys. You like go around and like fight stuff. You guys are part of that group.
Unicorn frowns. Oh, I thought she was referring to traveling minstrels. For a moment I was excited.
I mean,
That does sound like us.
well, I do play the flute.
Rhea points
So do I.
thumbs towards Flux and towards Damocles? Yeah, there we go. Sorry,
Yeah,
the name
Damocles,
changed.
yeah.
I keep going back to the other one, you know, the old name you had on that one. Points thumbs towards them. Well, they do like kicking butt.
Yeah, I recognize the tall one, the Dragonborn, and the Tabaxi. There's not too many of you guys around here. Pretty hard to miss.
I can be hard
Why
to
are
miss if I
you
want to be.
here?
But to disappear entirely, Jade. That's a rare gift.
Flux will ask you why you're here.
Oh,
Who you
I'm
are.
here to help. Oh, hi, I'm Bellamy. My first time in Avernus. I'm here to help my friend, the unicorn.
Coco.
You know each other.
Oh yeah,
Unicorn
we met
nods.
before.
Big nods from the unicorn. It brays a few times too, you know, usual horse stuff. Kind of hard to roleplay a horse.
Do you consider this unicorn a friend?
Oh sure, I mean, aren't all unicorns friends?
Sure. How come you didn't free him?
Oh, I had some stuff that I had to do further north. I told him I'd come back though when I could, and now I can. So here I am.
At that point, you'd also feel the ground start to rumble slightly. And what appears to be the hilt of a weapon starts to slide up in the ground. Right here. Sticking from the ground like the sword in the stone. The edge of the hilt of a weapon. Interestingly, however, what needs to be noted, the ground isn't splitting. It appears to be molding around the weapon as if it was coming up from quicksand, but that's solid rock.
Coco, what's with the sword?
The unicorn unicorn has very little time, however, to talk or to respond because the ground continues to rumble just a little bit, and the unicorn says, "Oh no, my captor is here."
Oh, my
Should we? Is he gonna kill us?
Yes. Everything wants to kill us down here, Flux.
Yeah, that's. I was gonna say it's pretty reliable at this point.
Yeah, but you guys are those like badass fighters. You guys are gonna be fine.
See, the thing about stories is, Bellamy, is that they leave out a lot of the messy details.
You see, Damocles is a former actual show fighter gladiator, so he actually probably get a bit of a charge out of that.
As the ground continues to rumble somewhat, you see it seems to move like water. Courtney's popular. You're dinging something.
Yeah.
Ba-ding!
Ding, ding, ding.
Oh, believe me, I don't mind. You'll just hear me make fun. I also like to poke fun at John, I think it is, because his cat likes to bug him.
I don't have a cat, so
Okay, it's not John then. Someone's kitty on. Is it Flux? Is it your cat?
It's Julian.
Lux.
Yeah, sometimes, but
That's the
I've been
one.
at Dean's the last few sessions, so no kitties
that's
here.
My Izzy does it to
Well,
me
that's
too.
a disappointment.
Sometimes.
I know.
You'll just be sitting here and I'll be describing a scene and suddenly hear meow, and it's like, well, the cat doesn't agree, so I can't kill you. But
We bow to the wisdom of the animals here.
as far as the game is considered, you notice that strange-looking hilt suddenly slides further upward before spinning around, a mighty, darkened hand rising in the same regard from the earth, gripping it tightly, before the remaining form as well bleeds its way up and through. I will say, Dean, your character Alec has seen this effect before, and possibly our wizard, but I always relate to anything nature-based to Dean because honestly, all the wizard has to do is roll an Arcana check, and you'll get 3/4 of everything. So
Is this like the end of like a meld into stone or something?
Yep, the sort of power you've seen elementals and such beings wield, earth gliding. And I'm just gonna go ahead and throw a picture up into the chat here. One nice thing I really like about the other chat, you'll notice once it works, is it might have switched off. I should be able to paste a full image into the chat just like that, and you can open it up and view it. So there's a quick little reference back when I don't want to bother to make a journal entry of something. But if you click on that picture, Courtney, it'll pop up to a full view.
Oh, cool.
The ground
Alec
trembles.
will
Oh, sorry.
look at Flux. Alec will look at Flux and say, "Hammer time."
The ground trembles as this creature forms in front of you, spinning its hammer around, gripping it tightly and holding it down some. State your business! It roars as it points a finger towards the group of you.
I'm in danger. I'm gonna move back.
Bellamy just backpedals immediately, hands up. Whoa, 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 whoa. Makes it beside Rhea. Hey, I like your armor. You stay beside me, essentially, right? I will say, as you backpedal, as you take a few steps back, you do notice Rhea is immediately going to move kitty corner in front of you with shield up, hand on her sword. It's her nature. She's a high AC warrior. She's going to protect anyone who moves for protection, in all honesty. And she even gives you a nod, like,
Is she cute?
Rhea, she's not bad. She's not bad. You look at the picture.
All right.
She gives a nod. She's humanoid.
No.
She's like 18. She's still getting there.
That is our little girl.
Yeah.
Alex looks over, notices the glance, and he's like, "Oi."
I will say in primordial, greetings.
Since I'm not moving, I get advantage on this.
He's like, "I'm gone."
I'll be right back.
Fade away.
Fade away.
Yep. So, are you actually going to be right back, Dan? Or Dean? Or Dan? Oh my God, Dan! I know you messed that up, and I messed it up when I didn't mess it up. Oh.
I think Dan was just stealthing.
Perfect. I think he said I'll be right back. I just want to make sure.
I said I would say greetings in primordial.
She gives a bit of a snarl and replies in Terran. if anybody can speak that. I think the only person who can speak everything wait. Do you have that power yet for Tim?
Yeah,
For,
I can understand any language. I can understand any language spoken that I hear, and anybody who I talk to can understand me.
Tongue
I
of
don't
the Sun
technically
and
know
Moon?
the language. I just understand what's being said. So.
Yep. Which means you would have understood the Druidic he dropped earlier.
Oh
You
yeah,
would've
I
been
guess.
like, that's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. But that's what it means. I get it now. And that curse word from his grandmama. You would have been like, oh! All these things come straight to the monk. What's really cool, there is actually ability in the Player's Handbook. I'm not sure how useful it will be in this specific campaign, but it lets you read lips. Essentially makes it so your character it can see any conversation for free.
Yeah, that's observant.
Yep. Observant with the monk basically turns them into Batman.
Yeah.
Especially if you
I
like
was
that
thinking
stuff.
about it, actually.
It's only sorta useful, especially when you have a wizard. It's like, what did they say? The wizard's like, hang on. Do you really need to know? This is a 7th level shit. But I digress. This monstrous elemental has formed itself in front and has yelled out in terror after growling at the primordial. To speak your nature! And this is like the only character of female intent that I can use that kind of voice with, so I'm gonna use it.
It wants us to tell it why. So I guess tell it why we're here.
He replies, why are you repeating what I just said? I said that, and now you're saying it out the same way.
Oh
Audacious.
no! They. How do I explain this?
It's interesting because anything you say, everyone understands. So while she's going, blah, 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 your character's going, whoa, no, that's not what I meant. I'm trying to say, and the rest of the team's just looking like, how is?
Actually, well, question. Actually, is there intent with the tongue of the sun and moon? Like, if I'm not like addressing it,
I believe
or is it just always
everybody understands what you say?
Yeah. Okay.
From the description, if I recall. So, unless you specifically garbled, I think it's just that you have now adapted it so that you attach it to the mind of the moon as opposed to just talking to them. So, can't turn it off.
I'll just go like, it doesn't. See, I'm translating. It's just a thing. It's a trick I do. Don't worry about it.
As she lets the hammer's head hit it once. Translate faster. Why are you here?
Oh, what do we want to say? Why are we?
We're here to save the unicorn.
I mean, yeah, but not pretty much. Yeah, we're. Sorry. Are you keeping that unicorn there in that cage?
She gives a bit of a snarl, shakes her head a bit, and holds up a hand and starts casting a spell.
For God's sake.
Oh dear.
That's a very rude response to my question, thank you.
She even holds up a finger at you, holding up one finger as you were like, hey, that's rude, and she keeps starting to cast a spell.
Would this be initiative then, or?
No, not yet. She hasn't tried to do anything. If she goes to cast a spell at a party member, sure. However, she's starting to cast
I thought,
a spell with...
Can you not hear me?
No,
I
was just going to tell
I
you.
did say you put up a counter spell. I was going to ask you, what are you doing with it?
So, like, you said she pointed at him and started casting a spell. At that point, I'm going to counterspell the spell.
As she's casting the spell, because it's only 3rd level and you counter it, she pauses and shoots a glare at you. Holds up her hand again, looks at the monk and say, if he denies me my spell a 2nd time, I will kill the lot of you by simply making the land beneath your feet evaporate, and in doing so, you'll drop into the lava.
Well,
now, and she starts casting once more.
Your spell's not going to hurt us, right?
She's already casting, however, as you're asking that. John, are you going to counter her again?
Okay, so Nimbar, she just threatened to kill all of us if you do that again.
Alright, I will hold off for right now.
So she continues to cast her spell with some verbal and some materialistic component and drops her hand. As you see, a little flash of light seems to erupt from her mouth. She coughs once and then says out loud, now, as I was saying, and you can all completely understand her.
Yeah.
Holds her hammer.
Comprehend languages or whatever is it? One of those.
Yeah.
I will not have any capacity to deal with a lot of you, unless I could understand what all of you are saying. None of this translation. Crap. Now tell me, why are you here?
Oh.
Starts casting tongues, gets countered. It's like, I'm trying to be diplomatic. Do it again.
That is pretty funny, actually, that happened.
We are
What is
here
it? John
to
has
free.
that look. Looks like Bugs Bunny. Ain't I here?
We're here to free Coco.
Who in the... Oh! Looks at the unicorn, looks back. A little wicked smile falls her face. Oh, are you now? Well, have you tried?
Did you cut out, Alan?
Oh, sorry, she said, oh, are you now? She looks over her shoulder at it, looks back. Have you tried?
We're more of on a meet and greet thing there, to be honest. She's new.
Hi, I'm Bellamy.
Towards you. She gets an awkward look on her face, but naturally holds up a hand and waves it in hello with, you know? Shakes her head, seems to regain her natural, strong composure, being thrown off for a half second by the optimism. Says, okay, hello, Bellamy. Very nice to meet you. However...
Nice to meet you, too.
Again, she's perturbed. She's like...
I like this one.
Like... Damokos laughing with his hands on his hips like, this is great.
Damokos is getting a kick out of this new person's personality.
She gives a nod and she raises her hammer and says, this weapon is the only one on the surface of Avernus capable of destroying this construct. Otherwise than that, it is nigh indestructible. Meanwhile, the wizard's probably thinking, if I had access to wish, it wouldn't be nigh nothing yards.
Well, then could you
Don't
give us
they
a
always
hand?
think that? That's just standard thought process, right?
Yeah, wish solves all problems. The Dao gives her head a shake. She says, no, I am incapable of striking a blow against this so long as I am duty-bound.
Well, then can you give us a hammer?
Unfortunately, it can only shatter this audacious construct when wielded by a true Dao like myself in the hands of a mortal. It is but a piece of stone.
I know where this is going.
So, who has bound you?
I originally set myself here under bind to Zerial. However, she says, as you see she clenches her fist a little bit and tilts the hammer, as of late, it would appear those shackles no longer bind me. You are, in fact, lucky. I was ready to leave this plane of existence and move on.
Oh, well, you know, that's good.
We kind of dismissed Serial. She doesn't really go here anymore.
I'd say we freed Zariel more than dismissed her, you know.
The Dao gives a wave of her hand. She goes, Ralaza does not care for your reasonings, but I can certainly use your assistance now. For you see, Zerial promised with my assistance for 200 years that I would be rewarded. For there is a rival Dao who attempted to ruin me, which is how I found myself in this predicament in the first place. What you will assist me with. I need you to visit. Her face slowly changes from the firm grimace of stone to a wicked Cheshire cat's grin. An acquaintance of mine, for she is able to divine the future, you see. And she will assist me in finding this other Dao, so I might exact my revenge. A promise Zerial had made, which now cannot be kept.
Oh, someone who can divine the future. Are you
Yes.
talking about Maggie?
I do not know the name of this crazed night hag. And Alex nodding, yep.
Yep, that's Maggie.
However,
Oh, Maggie's a friend of ours.
I definitely could use your assistance.
Well, she's what she is, but I mean, she's a hell friend. Like,
You see, as
you gotta have a lower standard here.
There's a an area nearby, a corrupted forest that she calls her home, the Tao says, which might throw Alec off for a moment now. Reddened, darkened forest of a place, corrupt as it is. Sadly, my bind to this plane of existence keeps me here at this Zappa. Should I move too far with my bind of Zerial gone, I will be reverted to the material plane of existence. I am unable to seek out my friend Ruth, but the group of you most certainly can. If you could seek out the Oracle, and find out where the rival Tao I wish to destroy is, and bring me that information, I would most certainly free your unicorn from this eternal bondage that it finds itself chastised to.
Ruth.
Rhea looks over towards Alec at this point, sort of whispers, "Is Ruth a nickname for Maggie? No? She lives in the woods? No? No? Shit."
Maybe it's like a cousin or a sister or something, Rhea.
And just because it's an awesome NPC, I'm going to have to say for Courtney, for your character, you wouldn't know who Mad Maggie is. You would have heard of a crazy night hag with rather insane people working with her and crazed troops. One of the leaders of of some of the oh shoot, I can't think of the name of it. Groups of demons working together. Warlords, there we go. One of the warlords of the Avernian Wastelands is a night hag. You've heard of that, but you've never met Mad Maggie personally.
Okay.
Just because she's an awesome NPC, you know. Be more fun to have that encounter, if it happens. It all depends. But in this regards, it would appear
Probably
the Tao...
when it happens.
Yes. Yes. Now, the Tao, who did drop her name mid-conversation, she refers to herself in the third person. I'll post that up here, is Ral Zala, has requested that you find a night hag by the name of Ruth near some brambles nearby.
Just give us a quick,
I thought
minute to confer there, Relzala.
Yeah, sorry. Real quick. I thought she said she didn't know the name of the night hag.
Not the full name, just the Ruth.
Oh, okay.
My friend Ruth.
Yeah, like Maggie's probably like got a fancier name. They don't like giving out their full names. It's powerful.
It's as if someone's saying, "Hey, go find my friend Margaret," and you meet them. "I'm Mad Maggie." It's like, oh. The Tao knows the name, partial name, of the night hag. I did kind of slip and say didn't. I meant to say I call her Ruth. That's all I know of. She's an acquaintance.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, you had said she didn't know the name. That was where
Yeah, I was hoping nobody caught that and they just sort of let it go, because, you know.
Because everyone else did but me.
Sadly, I confused John. Or at least I made John go, "Hey, hold on, I don't want no plot holes. You doing something sneaky, DM?"
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah,
no.
Making mistakes is perfectly fine.
Oh,
I
God,
was
yeah.
just legit confused. I was like,
Oh,
wait.
Definitely, and I got no trouble clearing up the confusion. She knows only the name Ruth, not the full one. Because I was messing around with the Mad Maggie link at the same time, because it is a night hag.
Yeah. Did she say the name of the... Because I thought Ruth was the one she's trying to search for.
Yes. Ruth
Yeah.
is the name of the night hag she's recommended for you to find. She's looking for the location of a Tao, a being like her, who ruined her reputation that she wants vengeance against. This night hag...
Sorry, I thought the Tao's name was Ruth.
No. The Tao's name is Ral Zala, which is... I put it up in the chat there window a moment ago.
Sorry. The other Tao, I thought was it Ruth.
Yeah. That one
that
has not been revealed, and I'll be honest, the book doesn't give a name for them, so... I'm sure they have a name, and it's a good one, too.
So, you want us to find... Just so I'm clear, you want us to find Ruth so we can find the other Tao so you can go and get revenge, correct?
Exactly. I seek to plant my mace firmly in his face.
What is his name in case we have to get that information?
Ouch!
She gives a bit of a chuckle and shakes her head. Oh, no. You won't need that info. She will know exactly who I'm referring to and will be able to find him. But I'm not giving out any other info, because I'll be damned if someone else beats me to planting my mace in his face. Big smile on the Dow's face at this point. You can tell by the rage behind her eyes, she wants vengeance badly.
Yeah. But see, now if we find the other one and we don't know who it is, and we off them before you get a chance, like, just because we don't know who they are, like, shouldn't we just have a name so that way we know not to mess with them?
A smile stays on her face. If you should be so bold as to step out and hunt down my quarry, I would not recommend returning to me. You might find my mace in your face. Nod of her
Well,
head.
no. What I'm saying is, like, if we just happen upon them on our travels.
They're not on this plane of existence.
Well,
so
then,
that
Bart,
is
let's
very
just
unlikely.
not kill anymore. Let's just not kill any more of these drowl things or whatever they're called.
But she had confirmed right there that they're not even on this plane of existence.
Yeah, okay.
As Flux saying, let's just not kill anything. They're not even on this plane of existence. Come on, just... her and Flux at the same time. Just let it go.
Let it go. Let it go.
Right, okay. I'll bust out the map and look for a patch of brambles.
She gives a double take when you pull the map out, and she goes, my word. That is considerably a beautiful map that you have there. If you are looking at the map, which I'm going to pull up for everyone to be able to see, just so I can point it out here. Oh, can't right-click that anymore. Show players. You will notice on the far left side of the map, dead middle, is what those arches you might remember from long ago. For Courtney, if you're looking at the map, there's a blue sun sort of image on the far left side.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a little structure there. Directly south of that is a lava pool. In between those two locations is what appears to be a tiny forest.
Right.
The Dao would take the moment, if you showed her the map, to point you in that direction. Impressed, in fact, that you have a map of Avernus. As mentioned, mapping Avernus is a maddening process. It can drive you insane. And I'll point out, as you're looking at Alex's map, if you look over his shoulder, you will notice the map almost seems to warp and shift somewhat. Just like the very plane of Avernus itself. You've noticed sometimes it'll take you a day to travel from one spot to another, and then 2 or 3 days later, when you return, it only takes 2 hours. The weirdest thing, the shifting of this hellscape of a plane. Makes sense. It's a little crazy, right?
Yeah.
So
That's a pretty cool map.
I love the maps. The nice is I do have a version of the map that has everything labeled. I don't throw it out until you've gone through everything. The players mostly have gone through everything at this point because, they did Avernus. But this is the side information that I'm building a campaign from the side of stuff. So do avoid reading Avernus still if you have... Well, you do have access to the book on D&D Beyond. Do avoid reading... let me see here... Chapters 2 and 3. Or actually just chapter 3. Avoid reading chapter 3. I'm ripping a lot of information from there and making up some of it off of chapter 4. So, for spoilers, kind of, not really, but yeah. Oh, I digress. So she has levied a deal to the team, as you're all depending. I will say she's going to cut the distance between the group of you and herself as she slowly walks forward. I'm putting her between the 2 nearest characters. And she's going to extend a hand as she reaches down towards the party. Even compared to Flux, she's a large creature, so 10 foot something. Do we have a deal? She says, Goliath hand outstretched and open.
Well, probably right.
Yeah. Bellamy takes her hand and shakes it.
I don't think you're...
Wait. Right, essentially. I cut you off, unfortunately, Kieran, but I think it kind of works for the situation.
Well, that's essentially what he was doing anyway, so it's just, kind of going like,
This actually works. This actually works out well. She's not attached to our group, so if she fails the deal, then we can still have another go.
Last time, I think you made it gloves, right? When you had to make a deal with your character? The chains appeared as gloves, I think, for your character's backstory there?
Fine.
Yeah.
It was gauntlets.
Gauntlets.
Yeah.
Gloves, gauntlets, same sort of thing. I will say, after you shake hands, you do notice Another pair have grown and replaced themselves, made of iron plates linked together, as mentioned. They don't make any difference, and you can freely take them off, of course, but, just as a throwback to that instance from your backstory. Another pair formed, and you can see written in Infernal, which I think the monk can read and a few others. Default to the monk for a lot of this stuff now, giving the speculations of the contract, essentially.
Ah, damn. I thought I got rid of these.
Rhea nods. They look
I'll
nice, though.
slap her on the shoulder and say, "Thanks for taking one for the team there, Bellamy."
That's me, Bellamy.
And the unicorn will reach out at this point, where you're all just still within range. Yes. And as per our agreement, Bellamy, should you are successful in receiving freedom for myself, I shall return you to the mortal plane from whence you came, as per my promise.
Good looking out, friend.
Oh, you had to make a deal for that?
Yeah,
Alright.
I make a lot of deals.
Wizard's like hiding his tuning fork. Oh, I'm sorry, I cut you off, Jillian.
Oh, it wasn't anything important. Flex will just kind of wearily look out in the middle distance and say, "You gotta be careful about that."
Yeah. Okay, so, Bellamy, are you wanting to solo this one, or you want to hop along with us?
Well, we're a team now, right? I mean, I found you guys, and
Well,
you guys are like that cool fighting group, and
Just
so I
as
just
a-
thought,
Alec will point to himself, Flux, and Jadelet. We're the OG team. Actually, Rhea, you're kind of OG as well. These other two, they're still kind of on probation. So you would be like, just entering probation. We've seen a lot of stuff. And yeah, a lot of people die. So kind of keep the walls up, build the walls high.
Sorry, does saving your guys' life not get me off probation?
Not really. No.
Rhea said 3 more times, buddy. 3 more times, then you're off.
I said kinda, you're like partway through probation. You know, once you've restored an archdevil to an angelic form, it's a high bar. It's a high bar. Yeah.
And that I will say, Rhea takes a moment to clasp Alec on the shoulder and sort of whispers, "I don't trust that Bellamy," which means she's probably perfectly safe, because my intuition sucks.
Yeah, but I mean, worst case, this is just like a smaller version of Maggie. We could probably handle Maggie, so that's.
Oh, and that little clasp on the shoulder saying she doesn't trust Bellamy is actually just a throwback to the dungeon. There'd be so many times she'd be like, "Okay, this will be fine at this point," and it's exactly opposite of what Rhea said every time. So if she says this is a sure thing, you take the opposite bet.
Yeah. Anyway,
Oh.
right. So to the airship then.
I suppose.
I will say,
is it an airship?
Yeah.
The only way to travel.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I left that part out on purpose.
Wow, you guys are so cool.
I love your character.
Admittedly,
She's
everybody at that
she's
point.
like the complete opposite of me.
She's like, "I've had a great time in Avernus. I'm gonna stay happy." The rest of us would be like, "This sucks."
Yeah.
We're all like battle scarred and traumatized, and then this ball of optimism is showing up.
You can see her,
It's precious. We must preserve.
I can see a moment where she'd be standing there, holding up her fists in like a boxing pose. "Yeah, I got into a fight with this pit fiend, kicked his ass, and got a motorcycle."
Yeah.
And thus Bellamy has joined the team. So as you all start to traverse back to the airship, a beautiful, beautiful airship. Do I have a picture of that? I do.
You have a mini at the very least.
So I've just thrown it
Yes,
on
hey,
the
Mini.
map so you can see. This is the actual Mini. I took it and I took a picture of it
Oh, wow.
and then cut the edges out. It's about that big, too, in real life. What this was, way back when we started Avernus. I don't know if you know about the Minis. We were playing in person. Dean had got the car for Avernus, and we were all so excited. And we used it like once, and then COVID. So, what he didn't know, the day he bought that car, I bought a dark stalker ravager or something from the Warhammer. I don't know it, but I modified it so it looks like this because I was like,
Nice.
okay, they get a car, and someday near the end of the campaign, they're getting an airship. It was still pretty epic when they got it, and the team was super happy. Don't get me wrong, but
Oh yeah.
that's sitting on a shelf in my mini storage right now. Like, I'm the most epic. I will say, however, because we usually cut for lunch around now, Bellamy's motorcycle. On the underside of this ship, there's chains. You just can't see them from this angle. Bellamy's motorcycle is just small enough that you could strap it on and it could carry it along at no disadvantage.
Awesome.
Convenient.
Lucky, really, because this is Dusty's ship, now I've got Dusty's bike back, so that's good.
I will point out, however, there is one dark side to using the war machines just before we cut for lunch.
Oh yeah.
There's an item called a soul coin, which is used as currency on this plane of existence. It's literally got a soul in it. Usually evil people who get trapped down here. That's what they use for fuel.
Yeah.
Fun.
What I might recommend if you want to have a quick read on them, I'll give you a link to the page for D&D Beyond. But
Okay.
because we're just gonna break for a quick 10. You can scrub through a lot of it, but it's the little pieces here and there. The soul fuel is the big one, and I'm gonna put that directly into the Foundry chat.
Cool.
Just gives you an idea of how fast they go and how long. But now that you're not necessarily bound to traveling Avernus, you don't have to use soul coins because the ship runs on clean water. There's a little I'll explain that when we get back from break. It's a cool thing. I don't want to stretch it out any longer. So we'll take 15 and we'll all be back at 20 after.
All right.
Perfect.
Sounds like a plan.
Nice. Hello, hello, hello.
Courtney.
Hello there.
Oh wow, I was not expecting that.
Have I
Is
not
it?
done that before?
I don't know. I'm usually late from break, so you might have, and I haven't heard it.
Okay. I mean, I do random voices all the time. Like, have you
Alright.
not heard me do random voices?
I
Alright.
don't think so.
I'm sorry, I clearly don't do enough. I will have to up my game.
Hey, hey,
It could
hey.
be Jillian's a bit desensitized to them.
Don't
It's
be
so
infringing
true.
on my territory. That I do the funky voices. I do the funky voices. I'm kidding, of course.
I too enjoy doing weird and unusual voices.
One
I don't
thing
think I'd
I'm
even recognize you.
One thing I am going to do is I'm working on a vocoder so I can do a Raya. Because honestly, Courtney might have noticed this right off the get-go. With my voice being the pitch that it is, to do a female voice is next to impossible. I can get a nice high-pitched one like this, but I definitely sound like a guy who's faking it. And the only other one I got is the one I'm using now, because it sounds operatic, and she seems like this monstrous big thing that could fit that. Outside of that, you might see a slight leaning towards male NPCs in my games. It's not a bias, it's actually a physical choice because I'm being a little rude to ladies if I try to do the voice sometimes. I gotta be dead honest.
That's fair.
I do
Yeah.
the same in my campaign.
Now, well, I did have a really good vocoder, and I did have an amazing voice that came up for Rhea that sounded really unique and special. And then it's like, oh, this is free trial, you gotta pay for it. So right now I'm debating that, but I did want to quickly ask before we jump back in. Does anyone here play Ark Survival Evolved on PC?
No.
No.
I think I have it 'cause it was free at one point, but I think I played it for maybe 2 minutes.
If you own it, that's pretty much it. I only say this because my buddy Jay and we play a lot of video games. I'm paying for a private server as of today. It's going to start up fresh. So if anyone has that, I might be able to get you in if he wants a few extra people. But I'm only paying for like a 10-person server because I'm cheap. But the thing with Ark Survival Evolved, it's kind of like Magic the Gathering. When you mention it, people are either, oh, yes, I play Ark, or what the hell? So I just thought I'd mention because it's like, hey, I'm hosting a Minecraft server, and everyone's like, oh, yes. So, back to the game at hand. The party was traversing their way back to the ship. And as you're doing that, there'll be some character interaction, because it is a bit of a travel, of course. We'll get to that. But, Courtney, I gotta say what Bellamy sees as you approach said ship. It's a beautiful vessel, just sort of floating there. From the underbelly, it actually looks like a sword. And from the top, definitely a ship. In fact, this was basically the sword of a giant, a dancing giant's sword, that naturally levitates. In order to create propulsion, what they end up doing with this ship, there's a little crystal on the back of it. By splashing water on it, it creates explosions, which propel the ship forward at ungodly speeds. Water is relatively hard to come by.
That's so cool.
It was the best roundabout way
I was going to say, there's probably some barrels that's been filled up with some create water spells.
Yeah. We need water! Hold on, I'm gonna make a fountain. Oh my word. Now, the ship itself runs well, and in fact has a heavily armored, bearded devil on board as well. As you approach the ship, you'll certainly notice him. He'll even give a nod and be like, oh, hello, nice to meet you. I see we have new friends, guys. That's pretty cool. And the other interesting thing is the monodrome that's on the ship. A little mechanical eye, just sort of walking along. It's on the ship, seems to pay no heed to anyone.
I like how those things just still stuck around all this time.
A very long time ago.
It's an eyeball?
I'll get you a picture. First, I'll pull up the bearded devil so you've got a shot of it. And I'm going to throw that one in here. Because you've met bearded devils before. They're very common and very, very vicious. Seeing one with a big, broad, happy smile on its face standing on the ship waving at you is a rather interesting sight.
And a pet abyssal chicken.
And it has a pet abyssal chicken, which is sitting on its shoulder.
Oh my god.
I'll get you a picture of an abyssal chicken because I'm really sad to send
I
you.
have seen abyssal chickens.
Oh, perfect. So you know what that little monstrosity looks like. Wonderful. Oh, I still have the game paused. My bad. Let me kick that off. One thing I am bad for is forgetting that I leave the game paused. And the other thing was the monodrone, which I'll get you a picture of, looks identical to this weird eyeballed monstrosity. I'm kind of reminded of Scully from Monsters, Inc. But this thing just randomly walks around the ship without talking to anyone or making note of anyone. It'll stop and
Oh,
stare
do
at
you,
you before moving on.
do you mean Mike Wazowski?
Yeah, Mike Wazowski, sorry.
It's okay. Sully was the big blue guy.
Yeah. I kind of right when you said Mike Wazowski, I was like, oh no. Blue's
I'm
my
sorry.
favorite color. I have a bias.
I should have let it go. I apologize.
No, thank you. I don't mind corrections whatsoever. It's the best way to go. A DM who minds corrections is one who wants to kill your players and feel good. That's the honest truth. Don't get me wrong, I love killing a player. It feels so good. It's like, I did it! I finally got one!
Don't
Hey,
be the
you
same
love-
Courtney.
you
He
love
will
killing
kill
us.
you.
Thankfully, there is a druid on the team who has Revivify, so I've killed there's actually only one party member besides the NPC Rhea who died as plot, so that doesn't count. Only one character on the team has genuinely died, and that would be Jade. Twice. Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
I mean, you did kill Blade.
Yeah, you killed our Warforged buddy who,
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. There was, at the early on in the campaign, they started at level 5, so I had to up the challenge from level 1 to level 5, and they go through a doorway, and all the bad guys have arrows. And John's character, a Warforged badass, I'm like, you're in the doorway, and they all have arrows. He goes, yep. I'm like, they start shooting.
Oh,
And that
no.
was kind of it
R.I.P.
for his first character.
well, he went down, and then the enemy like just stabbed him a bunch of times when he was on the ground because like the boss was like right there.
There was one major reason I did it, though. It's the only time in a D&D book I saw it say, if the players die or wipe, instead say the bad guys have captured them and keep them trapped and they're free. So I say to John, technically the book's taken it out of my hand. You've triggered that. Do you want your character to be dead or still alive? You have the one option of the meta-knowledge. So no, I didn't kill John's character. He did, and he started his
John
artificer.
killed John's character.
Yeah.
And admittedly, it was the week the artificer came out, so he's like, my character's dead now.
I jumped that ship as quick as I could. Like,
Yep. And he rode the artificer all the way through. In fact, there's a mythical
do-
blade that his character ended up drawing heroically, and that was the end of him for the campaign. Turned him into an angel. But I don't want to give too many spoilers, because, you know.
He was. I love that character, but it just made sense.
It's like, the next stage of my journey. Draws up the sword, and everyone's like, bye! And he goes, bye! And floats off to the heavens with the angels, and
Yeah.
Wow.
And
probably has a
and
desk job.
And my paladin decided to stay in the town we saved and try and look after things there. So
As for the character who fell, I'll give you some info on that one now, since while you're traveling on the ship, you probably have Alex saying, yeah, this was Dusty's ship, and you're like, who's Dusty? He was an NPC. Specifically, the party started a dungeon at the very start of the game, and they ended up getting 3 skeletal companions who were just mindless skeletons following them. Number 1, number 2, and number 3, they called them. And all but one of them ended up dying. And so they decide for this last one, as they're back in Baldur's Gate, they're like, let's disguise him, and they like roll like 2 on their disguise check to make him look human. And he's like, eh. Then
stupid plan.
they decide, let's go to the clergy, to the cleric temple, and get healed up. And they walk in with the skeleton, and the clerics just beat the thing to death. And they're like, what are you doing? This is a monstrosity. Evil, evil, evil. And after all that, and they killed it, which actually took a considerable pile of effort, the party decides, you know what? Since it's dead and the spells are gone, that was a good character. Let's bring them back to life. We're rich as balls. And the bad guy, and the clerics are like, really? You're just going to bring some random skeleton? And they're like, that's no random skeleton. That's number 2. Or number 3. I can't remember.
I think you gave us an ultimatum. I think the clerics at the temple said
Yep.
we can either kill this skeleton because it's a monstrosity, or we can bring it back to life for 500 gold.
Oh, it was a bit more than 500. It was like 5,000. At the time, it was a lot of money.
Oh,
and
was it? Yeah, I don't remember.
And yeah, you're right, though.
Wow.
I did give the ultimatum, because the clerics are like, there's no way we're letting this live. And the party's like, you can't
Yeah.
kill our minion. And they're like, there's no way we're letting it live. We can bring it back to life. And they're like, it'll cost you $5,000, more money than anybody has. Ha ha ha. What are you gonna... Players put the money on the table. DM rubs his eyes, because he's like, they only have $10,000. What the hell are they doing? So they created...
Love it.
They created a character. And
It
the
was
second...
great. We love him.
He comes out...
Listen, I'm still a little sensitive about it.
And he's like, oh, holy shit, who are you people? And they're like, hi. And they're like, who are you? He goes, I have a name, and it's a good one. That was the first time I said that line. As he tries to stutter out. But Nimbar's character at the time immediately speaks up, no, your name's number 2, and everyone laughs, perfect, let's go. Flux stops him, however, and says, no, buddy, I need a name. And he says, oh. And this is the point that I had to actually do some plot working. I ended up creating a character who was a member of the Hell Riders, a fallen general, in fact, who joined up with the party, second in command to Zariel herself.
Although
However,
that was a secret for a long time.
Very long time, and I continually referenced it and made tons of stuff to it, but what did he tell the party? My name's Fuldust Sternspear. They found out later he was General Straken Kavor, a monster in combat. And for them to finish the final dungeon, he had to give up his life, because I really trapped the characters good in that one.
Wow.
Yep, and that's what they're fighting to bring him back. Now this character, I gotta really underline. He started at the same level as them, and leveled up with them, but there was a specific rule. If you've ever seen that picture of Randy Marsh where he's saying, I ain't heard no bell, that's kind of Dusty. He was... In every fight he fought, and every time he gave it his all, and he almost died so many times, but the party wouldn't let him. But by no means was he the star. He was never the one to stand up and say, boss, take the final hit! In fact, he was usually the one struggling and then getting his butt kicked, because that's how you play an actual NPC. The players are the stars, NPCs are the support crew. So
Love it.
I had his story mirroring the campaign story throughout the whole damn thing, and it would take me much, much, much longer to go through that. Like,
The
all
time
the
with
while.
that Knoll God, like knocking him into the door over and over again, and us just healing him over and over again.
They ended up at one point traveling into the past as part of the plot, and they made it to Dusty's hometown, which I had referenced like 4 times from Dusty himself, where he said it was wiped out and he couldn't save them. The party, as part of the actual story of Avernus, end up in that town as Yengu, a demigod, is attacking it. Dusty sort of makes a final stand against the door saying, you're not going to kill my family a second time. The people who raised him because he was an orphan, you know, typical sort of D&D stuff. He's standing there just getting killed by this god over and over. Dean's like, nope, back on your feet. At one point, Dusty gets up, just let me die, man. Dean's like, I can't do it. He says, I know, I'm only kidding, but ow. It ends up, it's one of those fights that the players really shouldn't be able to win, but what I did was I put the boss's health to max, and once they wiped that out, the Hell Riders showed up, including Zariel to save today. All of the plot. But Dusty was down. And at that point, it was revealed to the party, as the Hell Riders showed up in the past, and one of the leaders was Dusty, that they're like, hey, hold on now, you've been lying. And he's like, a little. And then he got his hair ruffled, and they're like, it's okay, you're a good person.
Love it.
That's it in a nutshell for their NPC. He was with them the whole time, he supported them, and he was integral to the story because the players made me do it.
Yep.
It was so much fun.
Oh, it was a lot of fun, because I'll be honest, there was a few times I bent the rules and tried to kill Dusty. It's like, I'm gonna put him in a catch 0, and the party's like, come back here, Dusty, it's okay. But that would be like the sort of stories your character's hearing, all these random epic moments. Something about going through a portal and they thought he was dead and he came back with the ship, and a whole bunch of random stuff like that.
Nice.
The epic stuff. But, however, that's enough flashback time. That represents the hours it took your characters to traverse this stretch of land. Yeah, hours. Your character probably can't help but think as you're flying by, damn, I'm moving fast. Because you're hitting speeds of about 500 on this thing versus 120 on a motorcycle versus like 30 on foot. Except this doesn't have to go slow. It doesn't have to rest.
How long did it take us? Did it take like half a day?
It was a fair distance to get to the Demon Zapper from where you were. The traversing from the Demon Zapper to the Bone Brambles, however, will end up taking you a little bit longer.
Okay, so
While we're on the ship. Sorry, you go.
Oh, yeah.
So it's gonna take minimum of half a day.
Yeah, I'll give you half a day for that. Travel
Okay,
time's
cool.
a little... I'm gonna say it's going to take a full 8 hours.
Then I'd like to make a magic scroll.
And
during that
as
time.
you've noticed,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
2 a.m. I'm going to say 12 o'clock's your rollover for long rests. That 8 hours can be spent taking a long rest, but I am very strict. You only get one of those every 24 hours. You have to have that period of time. That's the rules. That's one thing the clock helps for with these sort of things. Now I'm going to pause
I'll
the
just,
clock, and I'm going to put it forward 8 hours.
I'll just short rest to get my
Yeah,
health
I'd like
back.
to take a short rest instead as well.
Yeah, I'll short rest. I'm a monk. Short resting is like 99% of my resources.
Yeah.
I'd say closer to 100% of your bloody resources.
Hey, I've got what is it called? Wholeness of body. That's a long rest ability. I think it's like the only one I can think of off the top of my head, but it is.
Wholeness of body. It's
Yeah.
a good one, though.
Oh, yeah.
Being able to just shrug things off is always a bonus.
Yeah.
So as you find yourselves traveling... Oh, right, no, sorry. Courtney, you were about to say something on the ship as well, weren't you?
Oh, well, I was just gonna say, like, while they're all resting, I would like to spend that time running around, talking about how cool it all is, and trying to get the eyeball to talk to me. And I would like to stand at the front of the ship for a little bit and be like, "I'm flying!" with my arms out.
No matter how much you annoy the little guy, that monodrone just stares at you for a second and then looks off in a different direction. Alec may even comment that he's tried many, many a times. However, for the ship itself as you run around, the hollow echo of the metal under your heels definitely resounds strong. You get to see beautiful features, in a certain way, as you see the sun in the distance, not really though, just the glow of the clouds, over the edge of the ship itself. Standing on the front, the ship stays incredibly balanced, unlike a boat. On that note as well, if you have proficiency with any type of vehicle for riding them, you can pilot one of the 3 locations required to drive this ship. It takes the actions of 3 characters trained with vehicles, or 1 character trained in both land and water vessels. The party were training each other so that they could get one person who could fly solo. Up until this point, though, the only character who's ever been in the party able of flying the ship alone was Dusty himself.
I thought last time we had established that Dean,
Did
Lux,
he do
and
it?
myself all did the training.
Oh,
and had
good.
finished it so that any one of the 3 of us could fly.
Oh, perfect. See, you'll find, Courtney, I don't monitor the numbers for the players too much. I give a lot of trust to my players. And it's just easier that way. I micromanage to a degree, but not so that you can see it. You're not going to hear me say, yeah, 3 sessions ago you processed and did that. Every now and again I'll leave it up to the party to remember their own advancements.
That's fair.
It also, I find, gives that sense of accomplishment. I did this. Yeah. Look at this.
Mhm.
Check mark. So by all means then, the 3 of them are capable of piloting this ship alone, which is quite the feat. I will say, while piloting this ship solo, you're not able to rest. 2 of you piloting it together, you're able to trade off now and you can rest, but as long as you're actively piloting the ship, you cannot rest.
So, should we add vehicles air proficiency? I think you said we needed, was it?
You
Land
have
and
water and land, yep. This ship, because of its design, runs like a car that runs on the water, in the air, so
Right.
that was the way it was designed out.
Okay, sweet.
And now, back to the plot at hand, with Bellamy being probably up to par now on the information for the companion they've lost, and the ones who fought with them and that info. She might have even gotten a layout of how the adventure went, because I mean 8 hours is a long time, and I'm sure with how peppy she is, somebody would start talking to her. Might even be like, this one time, I went toe-to-toe with a pit fiend, all of us did, kicked its ass in one turn, beat it into the ground, it was good. And you'd be like, where was that? And he's like, oh, it was on Zariel's ship, right?
If they're all taking a rest, can I do a song of rest to help them?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. I'll play a little song on my little violin, and I will do my song of rest.
Song of Rest is such a nice potent capacity.
Oh, it's a cleric.
It's a bard thing, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, that's part of the.
Extra 2 health for everybody resting.
Yeah, is it temp HP or max health?
Just more health.
It's
Oh, sorry. 2 more hit. Is it? How do they?
Or
roll
is it
that?
hit points healed?
Hit points healed.
Oh,
it's yeah. So, at the end of a short rest, by spending 1 or more hit dice, each of those creatures regains an extra 1d6 hit points.
Yep. So it is the 2 health on that. I wanted to make sure they weren't saying 2 1d6 rolls. I read it pretty poorly for a second there. It's like, what? That's convoluted. But yes, 2 health to everybody who takes a rest. Technically, people are probably taking a long rest, unless you decided for that short rest. But either way, you can play that music. That's a good time.
But
In fact,
I think most of them decided on a short rest, and
Yeah.
I'm taking.
keeping in mind that it's an 8-hour trip, and a short rest takes an hour, you could technically play this 8 times in a row. Like, you could be playing music for the whole trip, you know? Each hour, everybody would get back 1d6 health if they're resting.
That's
Ooh.
only if they use a hit die.
Only if they use a hit die.
Yeah.
The actual description, I'll throw it up here into the main chat, just so it's there as a reference point. The flip of that is, she can still play the song.
Yeah,
It may not do anything, but she's a bard, partially, so you know.
Um,
A bard flying
Yeah,
on
no.
an airship in Avernus, playing the Song of Rest. a little artsy fartsy. If this was an anime, that would be part of the intro clip. Her standing on the front of the boat with the music going and everybody like healing and eating and having fun for a split second. And I'm
Yeah.
sure the
Yeah,
next
and my violin bow is actually built into my rapier, so like half of my rapier is the sword, and then on the other side of it is my bowstrings. So that's what I play my violin with, is my rapier.
oh, neat. Don't mix that up.
Yeah.
And just for the
the
reference,
bowstring. Oh,
if you look
Yeah.
at the character artwork that I flash up again, you can see she even
Yeah.
did that drawing. You drew that one yourself?
A bit of it's traced.
Ah, yes. That's
I'm
fine, though.
not so good with body shapes.
I have no artistic capacity anymore. My poor hands are slowly failing me in dexterity. So anybody who can draw anything is doing better than I can now. But that's
Body
another
shape-
thing.
no.
Body shapes are hard, so
Oh,
They
yeah.
are.
I don't see what the problem is. You draw an hourglass for a female shape, and you draw a V for guys. You're done, and then you just fill them with muscles, right? Comic
Actually,
books.
Yeah.
I actually turned my Cintiq down and like started working on a drawing like during the break. So I'm very
nice.
keenly aware of how difficult body shapes are at the moment because I have that drawing there.
Oh yeah.
Um,
But
Yeah,
I
they're
used
pretty
to
rough.
back when I could draw, and I can't really anymore. Just my hands are getting too bad. I used to always have an art form that I pose, and then I do like the circles and the logs and all that to make my
yeah.
outlines. I have
Yeah.
to do that, or I can't draw shit. And even then, my drawings were still pretty crap. But I mean, my art's here. I do the artsy fartsy stuff with the D&D.
I mean, that's not wrong though. DMing is a creative.
Oh, God, you're not wrong.
creative thing. Like, yeah, it's.
But the shitty thing
totally
is when
respect
you
that.
used to be able to do something and you just
Oh, yeah.
physically can't anymore. It's a kick in the
That's-
teeth.
That's
but-
a shame.
I can still play guitar like a master, so I'm happy.
Oh well, that's good. Yeah.
If someone's like, you can't draw anymore, it's like, oh, you can't play guitar anymore. It's like, no! I flip a table. I love that almost as much as I love my D&D, so that says something. But I have digressed. Yeah, Bellamy's character, I really like the idea with that violin blade. That's cool.
Hmm.
That is such the bard weapon. In fact, since she started in at level 14, that weapon, that's a big strong one for her. I made that a good one. It's a very specific magical weapon. It may only be +2, but it's got some nice power.
You know
That's
what?
pretty cool.
Domicus will bust out his flute and he'll, obviously not nearly as well as she does, but he'll play a little bit of accompaniment. He knows.
Nice.
He's trained, and he has performance proficiency. So
She's
We'll have a
going
little
through.
powwow, do a little dance.
She's playing on the violin. He's like E, G, B, A, F major 7, A, B, G. I can follow that. Pulls out the flute, starts going.
the way I would describe it is, it's more like he's a competent player, and she's the kind of person who would be like playing in front of like big audiences at concert halls and stuff, right?
Damokos is at my level of skill. She's on a concert hall.
Yeah.
You can definitely play with her, but you're playing with her.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like that's the thing. He's accompanying where he can, but he's obviously like, no, she's the star of the show here. So
It's like the Titanic flute.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you guys do that. Nimbar's over at a corner, like scribbling on some paper, talking to the blue floating face in his face.
Oh, and with that, keep in mind if any of the spell books that Jade gave you between sessions. I know you guys were talking about that, so.
Yeah. We took all those spells, we added those, and we deducted the gold for
Oh,
that.
nice. The nice thing, Courtney, normally for a wizard to scribe a spell out of a book takes forever. John's a specific class for a wizard. He can do it in 2 minutes a spell, basically.
2 minutes
Wow.
a level. 2 minutes per level.
Hey,
so it
I
may
was
take
giving you the
18
cool
minutes
credit.
to toss.
I was giving you the cool credit, but 20 minutes to scribe down, rounding up, 20 minutes to scribe out wish for someone, that's...
That's still pretty cool.
Oh,
Yeah. Scribe is awesome for the flavor of, like, the spell collector. Like, that kind of character. Yeah. That's my favorite kind of wizard, so I'm really excited that they made a subclass just based around that idea.
Oh, it's so nice.
Not to mention, like, it takes me half a day to make a level 1 scroll.
Yep.
So we have an 8 hour of doing nothing, and we don't really have, like... Okay, cool. I'm gonna just make a scroll that we'll use eventually.
Stock up your arsenal a little bit.
Hmm.
I'm really lovely in this class.
Only flip is you'd see your little imp running back and forth with vials of ink. Here you go, boss. Replace it with a new one. Keep going. Keep going. You're going at the speed of like a typewriter here.
It's like,
Work.
if I'm not mistaken, it's really funny, like, if you think about it, because I don't even use the ink anymore.
No.
Because of the quill itself, like one of my wizardy spell. It's really funny.
so many nice little things that they do with this. Oh, it's cool. So then,
I really like this class.
I'll brought my imp back, so he'll be
Yeah.
back on my shoulder.
He got exploded, that was right.
when he comes back, he just he's shaking a little bit, and he looks at you, and he looks around. Oh, good. Arms go down. Boss, I thought for sure you brought me back beside the zapper to see if it'd zap me again. Whew. Hey, I'm on the ship, though. This is a good time. Big smile on his face as he's sitting on your shoulder, letting the breeze catch his face.
Flux will ask Bellamy about the sword. And a little bit about herself and stuff. Just during rests.
Oh, it's a pretty cool sword. Let me pull it on here.
And like I always say, I'm just going to grab my tea. I got a Keurig now downstairs with me. But I have wireless headphones, so even though you see me on mute, I'm still listening. My response might just be slow because I have to run across the room.
Basically it's a +2. And it has 1d8 +1 charges. And if I get a critical hit on a creature that has fewer than 100 hit points, it has to succeed a Constitution saving throw or be slain instantly.
Nice.
Oh, it's Vorpal? Like, is that crit? It's crit or con or die? Like, is that sounds like Vorpal, right? How does Vorpal work again?
Also,
Same as Vorpal, it's different, but
it's a very similar concept to Vorpal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Rhea nodding her head as she pulls her blade out. Comparing, she goes, similar! She has a Vorpal blade. The party decided to give it to the NPC. Figure that out.
nice. It only has, like, once those charges are gone, like, it's done. That's it.
Oh, it doesn't recharge. Okay.
No.
Oh, and Alan, don't worry. She's well aware of our shenanigans when it involves, like, NPCs. So
Yeah.
she has experience.
Now,
Listen, you're talking to the girl who bought 3 falcons, painted them black, and tried to pass them off as dragons.
ooh,
The
very
Falcon.
nice.
That's still one of the best. Like
Yeah.
Oh my, I love it.
oh god.
I like painting minis. I haven't done it in a while, but
Oh, they weren't minis. They were live falcons she bought from a person that she tried to convince our kobold friend were the
in-game.
dragons of the egg she
Yeah,
killed.
in-game.
Yeah.
Well, there is that magical item, the pigment of many colors. Might be able to do some crazy shit. Oh, now I will say during this trip, Rhea's going to walk over to Alec and sort of get his attention. Be like, hey, Doc, she says with a nod of her head. You think I could get you to maybe magic me up and see if there's something wrong?
Sure. What do you think?
She leans in, says, "Don't tell anyone. But I'm hearing voices." And she holds the shield up. It's not this guy. But it's not
It's not the
telling
normal
me
voices.
to do anything. It's not like, she like holds her hands out like a zombie. Go kill your friend. None of that stuff. It's like, every now and again I pick up the hint of a whisper, or dark beckonings, or I don't know. It's like, I don't get it. Nothing weird's going on, but I hear this whispering once in the blue. I thought it was just Avernus. But no, this is strange.
I'll see what I can do. See what do I have prepared.
Okay. Okay.
Alan, do
Sorry,
you
don't
have any
mind me. I'm
idea
sending
what?
a text message with voice. What's up?
Do you have any idea what kind of magic would be applicable? I've got like
Well,
dispel and stuff like that, but
I would. She's just asking if you can figure out something that would check her out. Like, she's like, I hear voices, I don't know why. And the shield will even confirm and with you, and it doesn't offset your passive insight. The shield's like, I don't hear anything. It's whatever it is, it's her. I'm not doing it. The shield says you wish he did, because that's genius, but it's not him.
okay.
Courtney, I don't know if you've heard of the Shield of the Open Lord, Hidden Lord.
Nope.
It's a shield with an ancient, powerful, incredibly evil entity sealed within it that was underneath Baldur's Gate for the last century. Explains why Baldur's Gate is a cesspool. The team took the shield because it said, "Take me with you into." It's like, I am the Holy Shield Exaltia. Take me into Avernus so that I can assist you. And the players are like, "You're full of shit. What are you really?" "Okay, I'm really the evil shield of demonic hell, man. Take me into Avernus and I'll assist you." "Really? Yeah, I'll make a deal." The shield thought, if I go to Avernus, I'll get free. They went to Avernus. That didn't happen. So, the shield made a deal with them. Because what's been found out is, if you conquer Avernus, if you are a Lord of Avernus, or a Lady of Avernus, or whatever it would be referred to, Warlord? Frig, I don't know. I'd have to look that up now. If you were to conquer Avernus and rule over this plane of existence, you could free him from the shield, guaranteed. So he's basically said, alright, I'll help you conquer, but you have to free me. And the team said, that's fair, okay. He's kind of become an ally. A friend isn't a word you'd want to use because he's definitely chaotic evil, but he's definitely an ally of the team. He's also a form for me to make some jokes with because he's cruel as frig.
I call him an acquaintance that occasionally helps us out with a fireball.
He likes to burn things, and he usually asks for tribute of the form of sacrifice of food. Usually Jade is polite enough to burn something for him.
Okay, we just got a ton of spell components there, so I'll throw a greater restoration on Rhea. See if that's probably the best bet I've got. That does
do anything for like long-term injuries and all that too? Like if that's the one, if you popped it on quick. Wait, what level is it?
It's 5th level.
Okay, yeah, I know what it is. I know that spell then.
Long-term injuries, I've got regenerate. That basically can like regrow body parts.
Oh yeah, it's just whether or not your spell removes scars, and she goes, wow. But in this one, she just glows for a second. She goes, well, I feel really good, but nope, nothing. So she
might be able to help.
Bellamy just pops off to the side. I heard what you were saying. I might be able to help. Rhea jumps like 2 feet. Holy crap. She gives a nod. She goes, I'm willing. Just, y'all gotta keep in mind, if something bad goes on with these voices and all that, make sure you take me down quick. I don't want someone controlling me. I am not a puppet.
Okay.
The DM cackles eagerly.
Okay, I will just give her a little pat on the shoulder and do a remove curse.
Well, I was going to say part of Great Restoration is it can remove a curse.
Well,
Oh,
Greater
does it?
Restoration is blanket effect. It's like, here you go, here's 50 antibiotics injected. As you specifically have used... Where did it go? It went away. It was on my screen, then it went. It came up. As you specifically use Remove Curse on her, since you know your other class... Oh, just 1 second, I got a phone call.
The cliffhanger.
Ooh.
Courtney, just to save time, I was gonna ask you, what kind of ranged weapons do you have, your character?
Not a lot. You know, I don't do range very well. I got some daggers that I can throw. I got some
Magic.
daggers I can throw.
Do you have any magic that might be relevant? You're bard, right? So.
Well,
Yeah, I have a lot of magic.
No, but I meant, like, do you have any ranged attack spell type magic that might?
Yeah, I have Sacred Flame and Guiding Bolt.
Suddenly Kieran's like, wait, what?
Spiritual Weapon.
Oh, I trust me. I'm not going to be particularly surprised about people having a crazy pile of spells. I mean,
Oh, it was the specific spell she was saying.
Sacred Flame and Guiding Bolt.
Yeah, they were just asking me if I had, like, ranged stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have, like, Banishment.
Well,
I have a few ranged things.
Yeah, those are cleric. What is it called? Cleric spells. Bard gets secrets. What is it? It gets spells from other classes. I can't remember how exactly that
magic
works.
Flute. That's how that bloody works.
No, but I mean, like,
It does,
I can't remember
but
the exact mechanics of it. But I'm just saying, it's like I'm not surprised hearing a bard say, like, "Oh yeah, I've got these cleric spells."
I have a boat ton of cleric spells. I will say, though, as you cast Remove Curse directly on Rhea, there's nothing to remove. There's nothing wrong with her, as near as you can tell. She's in peak physical condition. Nothing's trying to control her. None of your cleric senses, and, you know, being the level you are of that, none of those have triggered either. Neither you or Alec would be looking at her saying anything's even wrong. The Rhea will confirm once in the blue. She does hear whispers. She's not sure why.
Maybe we could.
That's all I got.
Yeah. Maybe we could get.
I can see Bellamy's arms up behind her head. That's it. I'm good.
Maybe we could get Nimbar to do like a detect magic or something.
Does Nimbar want to go blind?
Well, I
only say that because there's so many pieces of magical gear everywhere.
I was suggesting that to Rhea because she came to me privately, so I wouldn't.
Oh yeah, definitely. Rhea's okay with you telling a few people. She just goes to you first because you're the only person she knows that can actually heal people on the team. No offense to Bellamy on that one, she's new. So Rhea's like, oh, new person has heals. Yeah, remove curse. Holy God, you have heals.
Oh, is she I'm wondering, is she a cross class? Is this what's going on? Is this
I guess you'll have to find out.
I guess so, yeah, that's fair.
Okay, so Rhea, if you come to me like at the end of the day, I can try casting a stronger spell if I've still got it, like regenerate maybe in case there's something underlying there, but...
She gives a nod, points a finger and says, sounds good. However, she holds up a hand. I gotta tell you, Shieldy Boy here told me of a nice power when we were leaving that dungeon. Apparently, he can make me look like some terrifying demonic entity of the night and scare the poop out of everything within range. If you see me look at you and wink twice, right before I do that, don't kill me, okay? I'm doing that on purpose.
Oh, well, that wouldn't kill you anyway, Rhea. I'm far too attached.
Something takes control at the very least, just knock me out.
Oh, I mean, I can heal a brain injury, so if I need to knock you out, that's fine. But, you know, death's trickier because, you know, the whole, you know, borrowed time thing.
That does make her laugh. Now, on that note, when he mentions I can fix a brain injury, Bellamy would most certainly have noticed at this point Crickendolt. Crickendolt was the bearded devil I showed a picture of earlier. He's more than happy to converse with you. Very happy-go-lucky, very nice guy. Very surprising for a bearded devil. Like, oh, hi, welcome to the ship. Yeah, we got some nice food at the board. I have some other things going on here. I sometimes help plot and navigate the course, but they don't like me fighting because, well, I'm really good. He holds up a magical glaive. I'm really, really good with this. Don't get me wrong. I can kill. But, scratches behind his head a little bit. I'm pretty sure the big one could snap me in half. Nods his head. Now, even though he speaks nasally, that probably caught your character's attention first, which caused your eyes to drift across his scalp. You can see the edges of an exceedingly large battle scar going from the back of his head to the front. And without a doubt, go ahead and give me a knowledge check, either wisdom or intelligence. If you have any knowledge skills, they might come in handy, depending on what you've got.
Okay.
You have advantage on this check.
Ooh. Okay. You said I can do wisdom?
Yep, it's wisdom based. If you have any knowledge skills, let me know. They might apply.
Oh.
It'd be wisdom or intelligence, because your book learning or your natural capacity would help you out on this one. I often defer to both in a situation that requires a character's raw natural talents. Unless you're a wizard, then it's intelligence, because... John, do you use wisdom?
No.
There you go.
I'm a smart person. I'm not a wise one.
I could do perception or insight.
Oh, those would be the other ones. Nope, since you don't have a knowledge, just roll straight on your wisdom then. I think wisdom's your better between intelligence and wisdom. But just give me a wisdom check with advantage.
Okay.
Do you have medicine?
Oh my. Oh, right, medicine check would have been the same.
Oh, yeah, I do have a medicine check.
However, you just nailed it with a 23, so you get your proficiency bonus on as well on that, which makes it a 27? I think it's plus. Is it plus 4 or 5 at your level?
It's plus 4.
Perfect. I almost know those off the top of my head. Plus 4 at your level brings that check to a 27. 23 was enough to ace it. 27 blows it out the water. As you look upon Crickendall, you can immediately tell, because you've seen these sort of injuries before on the battlefield, both above Avernus and below. You know that Crickendall's present attitude is due in part to that damage to his head, just with a glance. You're like, oh, someone knocked the good into him. You also know that's naturally not how he's supposed to be, and if you dropped a spell like Greater Restoration or higher, I have to double check, I think it's 6th, maybe even 7th level. Might only be 5th though. I'm just going to pull up Crickendall's info, because this only comes up like twice a campaign. Heal. Level 6th or higher magical healing spell would cure him of this disorder, as you can tell. It would return him to who he's supposed to actually be. It's up to your character what they do with that knowledge. This is knowledge the rest of the party already has. But you being, well, I don't like to say it the classes and all that, but with your knowledge, that's why you got advantage, and that's why you nailed it through the water, and with a glance you're like, oh. It may even lead to like a side conversation with Alec. Did you know he's supposed to be an arsehole and his head is... And Alec would be like, yeah, we're not sure what to do about that.
We've debated whether or not to.
There was that debate, but it's who he is now would no longer exist, but who he was deserves to exist. And it's a question in and of itself that the party wrestles with. And at the moment, Crickendall's been left as he is. So, congratulations, I just rolled you in on that one.
Nice. I'll ask him, do you remember how you were before you got hit in the head?
Yeah, I was a little better in combat. Wasn't quite so nice, just stab. But you can't just be stabbing people. That's not good. Life's the important thing. And he nods his head once.
So you like to be like this, or you want to be like you were?
He gives a scrub to his chin a bit. He goes, I've not given it too much thought. All I know is I got my weapon, I got a nice ship beneath my feet, and I got my pet. And he scratches his abyssal chicken underneath the chin, which is sitting on his shoulder. The question you pose, you can tell, goes a little beyond what his sense of self provides. He clearly hasn't given enough thought to who he was and who he is. He just is happy to exist, as you can tell, quickly from conversing. More conversations with him with other guards. Would you like some of the old power you had or the rage you had? He'd just give a shrug and say, I don't know. Kinda happy to just be.
All right. Well, if you're happy, then I'm happy.
Admittedly, his life expectancy's probably gone 20 times past what a bearded devil usually hits at this point.
Yeah.
So now that you know the
I'll just sit
uniforms,
chit chat with him for a little bit.
and he's full of info. A lot of it's random. Just, his experiences in
Love
the
it.
wastelands. He was a soldier,
Love
then he
it.
became a mercenary, and then he became injured in the head, and his friends started making fun of him a lot. But he found his chicken, and he loves his chicken. It's his pet. He
Does the
defers to
chicken
it
have
like
a
it has
name?
to. It does. Earwax.
Oh my god, I love it.
Earwax is so cute, they want to eat him, but I won't let them. And he says, not the party, the people I used to hang out with. The new people, I don't think they'd like the taste of a Bissell chicken.
I don't think so either.
Though, admittedly, Dan's probably looked once or twice as Jade has, and licking his lips like, maybe. I wonder what a chicken would taste like. Not that one, but I wonder what chicken would taste like here. Mind you, everything tastes like crap here, so you're mostly just trying to roll the dice.
Ellen,
Yep.
based on what Flux has seen and how she sized Bellamy up already, does she think that Bellamy can make use of the dancing greatsword?
That'd be a question you'd have to directly ask, given the fact that it's a large two-handed weapon with a heavy property and all that stuff. But I believe the cleric has access to all those, so would the bard, because those are the two things she's hinted toward. I'm not sure what their proficiency are off the top of my head, but greatsword should be on there somewhere.
Okay, I'll show it to her and ask her what she thinks of it.
The dancing greatsword, Courtney, if you're unfamiliar with the weapon, though you probably are very familiar with it because it's one of her standpoints for a while. You literally throw it and it hovers by the enemy.
Huh. Is it a strength-based weapon?
Oh yeah, that's the kicker.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, not for me. Not so much. I'm kind of weak. I don't do good with, heavy lifting.
You'd see her holding the sword, slowly leaning forward. Yeah, no, thank you. Passing it back.
Yeah.
Whee!
Yeah, that's fair. It's a good sword. I hate to put it out of use for the time being. She'll kind of shield it. Why don't you hang on to one of these just in case you get yourself into a bit of a spot? And she'll hand her a javelin of lightning.
Ooh.
Oh. Thank you.
Just for emergencies only. And don't be alarmed if, I run over to you in the middle of a fight and pull it off your back in case I need it.
Okay. All right.
Rhea reaches to her other hip and she grabs the hilt of the blade and draws it out. She goes, I got an invisible longsword. And sure enough, it's almost invisible. It looks like a short sword.
That's so cool.
Anyway.
I think Dean has the fully electric. All the little random trinkets, right? You should see what's in Jade's pockets.
Literally, because we picked up like 4 bags of holding.
And Chompy.
And Chompy.
Oh, and Chompy. That'll
meet
be a
Chompy.
fright when see us stuffing bodies into Chompy.
Oh god. Well, waiting.
Rhea, if you hear the voices again and they're trying to compel you to do something, just remember this phrase. Pogmothon.
She gives a nod. I'm writing that one down. And you might hear at that point Damakos laughing. Pogmothon, kick me arse. Love it. Gives me arse. There's also, Pogmothon's one way to say it, but you can also say Buckmaha. That one I do know.
Okay.
Because I met a guy, actually, a couple of years back from Scotland, and he was mentioning, Gaelic. Now, this guy was on an airplane. This was a single-serving friend. He was on Toronto, and he was meeting in Sydney, and then going out to Scotland from there, from what I remember. And he was in the seat beside me. And he's like, oh, so you know a little bit. Well, you got to make sure to tell people if you ever go my way, the traditional greeting for everybody. And I'm like, what's that? And he says, it's a bakmaha. I'm like, you're going to get my ass kicked. And he lost his shit. He goes, you know what that means? And I'm like, yeah, kiss my ass. And then he taught me like 3 new curse words. It was great.
I'm just going through my little book here.
I like that. I'm writing that one down because it's arse instead of ass. So that's probably fun. Probably the pog probably references colloquialism as opposed to just the word ass, right? That's why I like that.
I recognise thon as like in Duolingo it's buttocks, so it must be how you say it.
Oh, Bakmaha is probably a very rude way to say it then.
Yeah, I'm only a year into learning.
Oh God,
Gaelic,
I only knew a little bit from when I was a little kid. Like, I'm pulling at straws with mine. I know a couple songs though. I just know that ain't happening. So then, as the team traverses Avernus and you're flying overhead, as you reach your new destination with all the interesting team building, any other things to go over before I move on to the next zone?
This goes 100% against Jade and his greed, but at some point during this flight, congratulations, Jade just blew his only wish. Everyone has fire resistance.
Ooh, very nice.
Ooh.
Literally a moment where Jade's like, alright, takes the sword out. I can't believe I'm doing this. Like, I could get... Holds it out. Everybody touch the blade. And everybody dies.
Are you okay? You okay, Jade?
For a while, this is probably my last session because I'm moving, right?
Oh, right. You'll be out for about a couple weeks there. I'll be playing you on Auto Thief.
By the way, Jade, remember what we talked about? If you
yes,
do, just let me know.
I'm still working with that. It's not taking the updates to the drivers.
Oof.
Okay.
Working on system updates?
I have a.
Do you have access to Discord, like even outside of what's it called?
My phone and I think my tablet can go on there.
All right, cool. So I will see what I can do on that front as well, and I'll let you know.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep him around because I enjoy playing with Dan.
Oh god, yeah.
So.
And we have because I'll definitely keep the seat open for him too, because you'll be out for a little bit, right? That's the thing.
Goal is to have him not be out.
Exactly. If you can figure out a way around that, by all means. But beyond that, I'm definitely keeping your seat warm. And when we have a full roster of 6 players, which we're at right now, I always will play up to 2 players missing. Now, since you might be out for a little bit, you're going to count for one of those 2 players. So we'll still be only 1 player out, and we'll stop the game probably. We'll see how. Well, I'll still probably do 2, but I usually do 2 players. Once we're missing 2 players for Courtney's info, I'll usually hiccup to the next one.
Okay.
Just because you don't want too many people missing stuff and ongoing campaigns and all that. Last thing you want to come back and Rhea's looking over and she's got a metal right arm and she's got like a robotic eye and she goes, "Hey, good to see you." It's like, what the hell happened? Oh, right. Oh, those little things. So then, as you approach the next
resistance to fire, right?
Yep.
Everybody gets resistance. Unfortunately, it doesn't double. You can't gain better.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I already have resistance to fire, but...
So does Alec and Jade, so it's a real show of teamwork for Jade.
Oh, yeah.
Rhea throws her hands up. I got immunity to fire! It's like resistance, Rhea. Still!
Yeah, it's different. Trust me. You can definitely still burn.
And I'm willing to bet Bellamy's probably like half damage from fire down here. Oh, that's gonna come in so handy.
Yeah, she's doing a little happy dance.
And you also got to see Wish Spell in action.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so that's what that looks like, sparkly.
Mm-hmm.
So then, as the party makes their way for the long trip, you find yourself flying overhead. Now, Alec, who usually has the map out, Bellamy gets to see something rather interesting, because as you near this location, the map suddenly speaks that your future is written in your blood. She'll open your veins to paint the story hidden in your heart. Because you can see a maze of warped trees and bone-like vines stretching out across the ground beneath you. You can't see into the brambles, far too thick, but you can land the ship on the outside of it. Calcified corpses merge with trees here, covered in fungal pods that feed on the blood oozing through the undergrowth. Here and there, narrow paths wend deeper into the wood. That'll give you all an image of what you're looking at there with a nice show to players command.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh.
Welcome to
Well,
Avernus.
this is just a lovely little place.
Freaking Dolt looking over.
Mhm.
The brown brambles. Nods his head once. Had my first date there. It was a good time. Big smile on his face. Truly, beauty is in the eye of the beholder as you travel Avernus. But the more important question that arrives now is going to be where, oh where on this map are you going to start your ventures? Now, I am activating the map. It'll just take a moment to shift you all over. But you will notice when you get here, my 5 Reyes. There are 5 points of entry into the brambles.
Oh, once it's loaded.
I'm surprised it's taken a little bit to move you all.
Yeah, mine just got to 90 and then just kind of froze. I'm just going to try refreshing the page.
Worst case, hit F5. Changing maps is the one thing that seems to make all systems cranky.
I'm just gonna give it another couple of seconds before I. Okay, yeah, no, it doesn't look like it's going anywhere.
We've been sitting on that other map for quite a while. That's the only thing you'll notice, Courtney, about Foundry. Every once in the blue, you gotta tap F5 to reload the page.
Yeah.
Ah.
Could have timed out from inactivity.
Oh, I need
Like,
numbers.
I can see one Rhea at
there we
the
go.
top of the map.
2, 3,
Oh,
4,
hey!
5 Reyes, you mean?
There are. You just if you've already got one clicked, unclick her, and you should see the other one's location.
Yay! There we go.
Oh,
Yeah, I can.
okay, there we go.
So it's up to the party at which point you would like to enter the brambles.
Good question.
Reyes just happens to be the placeholder. I'm gonna pull her off the map on all the other spots and reset view. But it's imagined if you took the time and walked around here, which you'd have no trouble doing.
Is this map to scale?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Just
scaled it
'cause
right to the same one in the book. It's very large, each square representing 5 feet. But quite the map, eh?
Yeah.
Was that
Mhm.
230
'Cause
feet across, the diagonals, something up there too. Yeah, 230. Damn, it's almost square.
Wow.
Matches the map they gave me in the book.
Which way did we fly in from?
It would
which way would we really kind of come into?
The eastern side here is where you'd be approaching from. Northeastern, I'd say, where I'm circling this big zone.
Hmm. Hmm.
We could always just roll a dice for it.
Yeah, north starts at 1. Then
Yeah. It's only a problem if we roll a 6.
5.
Roll a 1d5
Well,
then.
you couldn't roll a d5.
I was gonna say you could probably just type roll 1d5 and it'd probably work.
In real life, I'd roll a d10 and divide it by 2. So path number 2, that would put over here as your starting point.
Unless anyone has like a really against this for whatever reason.
And don't
Oh,
mind
the only thing I'm against is the fact that this is a mockery of a bramblewood.
Yep. And those calcified corpses, at a glance, appear to be dryad in nature. If Alec were to take the time to examine, you could tell the roots of these trees were fouled with horrible mind-bending poisons. You can see that many of these dryads died in the process of trying to merge back into the trees while resisting the poison, while the rest most likely crumbled to ash you can still sense their spirits. Something akin to a banshee haunting these woods. It sends a shiver up Alec's spine. You know, because you're the nature guy, and I like to reference to that. Bellamy, being bardic in nature, might be sensing these things as well, but it's like, you ever watch that show Ghost Adventures?
Yep.
Just like that. It's like, oh, there's a one spot
Fantastic.
over there.
Love it. What's a dryad?
It's kind of a forest spirit. They tend to be bound to a tree and can protect groves and such. They're tend to be feminine forms made out of wood, basically.
Okay. Oh, okay. Cool.
I give a picture to go with his description to save a minute.
They're I think they're a little bit more they tend to be more territorial. Would that be a good way to say it? Compared to, say, a nymph, they will.
They tend to be neutral, so very defensive in nature.
Yeah. Usually, as long as you don't disrupt the forest, they'll let you pass, but who knows?
It's also Avernus, so be
Ooh.
careful.
I was going to say, but who knows what corrupted, defiled dryad spirits will do.
That's true.
Yeah.
Sorry, refreshing the map, I just realized I left the grid colored red. That's no good. I use that when I'm resizing to get things to look easier. So I've got you all on the map, and since I have the chance, there's a few cool features you get with this one. I'll show this one for your reference. For example, you'll notice that Nimbar and Sir Jr. If I click on this button, I got Sir Jr. now mounted on Nimbar, which it says in the chat, representing that he's walking on his shoulder. You can also use a follow command. For example, I usually have Rhea following Flux, so if I grab Flux and I move her, Rhea's now going into the last square she was in.
I don't actually see anyone's tokens.
If you're... Are you zoomed in, or can you see the entire map?
Hold on. I'll
The other
click you
option
to
is hit escape, and sometimes it'll...
I force you to where all the tokens are. If you have yours selected, you should still see the other ones. And I put Nimbar in an area and nobody can go.
Oh, I think that's where
okay.
where
Now I
my
can
imp
see.
is. Oh, there we go. There he is.
And I'll mount him on you as well, just to make life a little easier.
Oh, do you have dark vision?
Me?
Yes, you.
Yeah, 60 feet.
Okay. Oh, also, I was rereading my Manifest Mind. It does create 10 feet of light.
Oh, nice. Light's always good.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So you got yourself at the very edge of the creepy bone brambles. You got the characters on the board, and you can see them all now? For Courtney?
Yeah, I can see everyone now.
Perfect. Yeah, I accidentally put Nimbar back a line, which I actually have the invisible line there that cuts off player vision. That's half the reason why people couldn't see half of everything. But now I got you all in the right spot. You will notice if you grab your character and start moving her around manually, like just hovering and grabbing, and the light will automatically update for your vision, showing you what you're able to see through. Little advantages of this. It can be system heavy though and intensive, and if you find it lagging you out, I'd say instead click on your character and use the arrow keys to move, or I can move your character for you. Any of these options are fine. I've got a pretty beefy computer I set up for our server here, so.
Another thing you can do is if you go to the measure distance, you can then make your line, and then to move, hit space, and that'll move you.
Oh, cool.
Oh, where's my little mount button? I know you just mounted, but I clicked the wrong person. Now I can't mount up.
Weird. He's up here. Maybe it's because of that movement of using space, or did you unmount?
I unmounted by mistake, but when I click on guy, and then I right-click on Nimbar.
Oh, highlight both of you.
Oh, you have to highlight both of them.
Yep, highlight him and yourself, then right-click on the target who's going to be mounted.
Okay.
Perfect.
But that changed a little bit. I
It's
think.
weird that it kicked off. Oh, well.
Yeah.
I like the spell
I
slot show up as they
probably
show up
clicked
now.
on the little square posted Nimbar, so it's probably my bad.
Oh god, hard to even say. So many fine-tuned controls on this thing.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So then, as you are all now at the edge of the brambles, the question is, which way are you going? There's clearly 3 paths straight ahead from your present location. Straight, up, and down. Or, west, north, and south.
Anyone have a preference?
Well, let's
Ray
see.
looks down and looks back
If
at
I
the ship.
was if I was a hag who lived in a creepy, horrendous patch of woods, I'd probably be quite far in.
Oh, probably in the center.
Mm.
That's my guess.
So
You should probably go forward.
yeah.
Just feel like this going forward is probably just going to find a dead end. But I mean, it can't hurt to try.
Well, there's only one way to find out. I could
Let's
go
go on an
first.
adventure.
Oh gosh, she's
Bellamy's
going.
just-
I'm getting dusty flashbacks right now.
Bellamy's charging forward. Alright, let's go straight. And Jade's disappeared.
Flux will try to snag her on her way in and be like, no, I go first.
He's like, or me, come on.
This is kind of probably, she tends to grab a lot of people's collars. That's probably what she did.
Yep.
Okay.
The big heavy armored ones. Ray will take a moment and nod and hold up her shield. She'll be like, don't you worry, we like getting hit.
All right. I don't like getting hit.
Ray seems to pause for a second and said, I never thought I'd say that, but there you go. I do have Rhea still set, I believe, to follow Flux, so any steps you take, Jillian, she'll be behind you. This is done because Jillian and Flux are pretty much the only ones in heavy armor. So it's assumed they're at the front of the line. It used to be a thing where they used to dance it around and pass it around, and sometimes it'd be Jade, but unless there's traps, the fighter is very proud to be a fighter. Flux is always running to the front like, hang on, I'm gonna kick some ass. They're not gonna take me down. I got damn near 200 health, if not at 200 now. Yeah, jeez.
Used to be
It's a wee
Milgrace
fight.
because he had an insane AC.
Yeah,
Well,
same for
or
Milk Crates.
was it Rodman as well? Because
Yeah.
Well, at this point, because of your actions, Rhea is tied with Flamanoxus's AC. They're both sitting
I
at
think
23.
Flux's armor or AC is down because I'm no longer dual wielding.
Oh, so you're 22
My
then.
fighter. No, I'm 21. I was
21.
only ever 22. 22 was the highest I was,
Let me fix
and
that.
now I'm at 21.
So why is it putting you at a 23? Because you've got a +2 play, right?
Yeah, we talked about this last time. I'm not sure
Weird.
why
Overrode it.
it's coming up that way. I do have a +1 because of the protection thing, blessing of protection or whatever.
Oh,
Letting
yeah.
up protection.
So that gives you a 22 then, because you'd be... Oh, no, 18 plus 2 for the... And then 21. Yeah, so you're at 21 AC.
Yeah, it's right on D&D Beyond, but I don't know why it never seems to translate.
So that means Rhea is the highest AC at a 23 with that bloody +2 shield. That shield of the Open Lord, without that she'd be a 19. And she gets a natural +1 for her sidekick trait, so...
I mean, you say that, but then there's Nimbar.
It's like magic shield.
Exactly.
Rhea's like, you guys gave me a Vorpal sword, legendary shield, and legendary armor. You paid for them, I intend to use them. It's like a barbarian. I bought 200 health, I intend to use 200 health.
hit points are a resource.
Oh, yes.
If nobody has any objections, I'll head in this direction.
No, I'm perfectly content to follow the leader.
On that note, I'm not too concerned about the organization on how you move your minis. If you want to play catch up after she's moved hers, or if you just want to follow along, by all means, for our new player Courtney. Usually, I'll say at one point, okay, put yourselves in your marching order, and combat's about to hit you.
Yeah.
And Flux.
By the way, if you hadn't stopped her, Damikos definitely would have been like chased after just out of the sense of competition. If like she's gonna go run in and explore like first, he's not gonna be able to just stand there and be like the reasonable one.
He'd be charging forward like, everyone else has already beaten a pit fiend. It's my turn. You wait up.
Just a quick question: are these trees? This says bone brambles. I'm assuming they're dead.
Calcified horrendously.
Yeah.
Warped trees and bone-like vines. By the look of the trees, though, as you touch upon them, you can still feel the wood to them, but it's long corrupted and dead.
I know a few wildfire druids who'd have a field day here.
You know what this is? I'm changing what I just said. The trees are the most horrible thing now that you've examined them, since I've had a moment to logically think about it. The trees are undead.
Oh boy.
The antithesis to anything a druid holds holy. An undead forest. Calcified.
Little forest gnome looks very, very depressed.
Yes. This is not home for the forest gnome. I gotta go to the druid, though, because the forest gnome has the magic.
Absolutely, like, I definitely agree. But, like, the little gnome, just, like, I look depressed because it's not home. Alec probably looks horrified because this is, like, the opposite of everything that it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I mean, an abomination.
Yeah. I'm depressed. He's probably at the point, like, so depressed he's angry about it.
And honest, the black evil.
Such a horrendous place. As Rhea's following behind Flux, walking forward, or side by side, or maybe even in front, Rhea's got wicked AC. She's just muttering a few times, I don't like this place, I don't like this place. If Flux ever looks back, Rhea would just stun, give her a smile, be like, oh yeah, we're doing good. This place sucks.
Yeah.
Is that a hand sticking out of it? That is a hand sticking out of a tree. That's a head sticking out of a tree. That's a body sticking out of a tree. Oh my god, that's an ass sticking out of a tree. Somebody had a laugh at their last minutes. God damn it. Rhea just commenting on the force the whole way, but very softly under her breath, so as to not trigger any worse of a stealth check than, Flummonoxus' rambling armor. I don't want to be like, because the NPC was talking, you got caught. That's just mean.
Just, I don't know if we're doing stealth checks, but I'll tap my staff and cast Pass Without a Trace.
Oh, nice. So you don't even hear Rhea's rambling? She's just looking at the trees, mumbling and shaking her head. If Alec had a moment of, you okay, Rhea? Like, you hearing voice, she'd be like, no, this place creepy. But by all means, continue on for Flux. You're not finding anything in your way. I will certainly stop you the moment you need to stop. In fact, I can put invisible walls up, so makes my life
Sorry,
easy.
I was just in the bathroom. So
It's all good. Rhea was rambling.
No. Listen, where you pass without a trace, so we may as well do stealth checks then, right?
Yeah.
Like, cause why not? Honestly.
Yeah.
I'll drop one for Rhea. Save you all
Okay.
a quick second. And it's with advantage with Pass Without Trace with a +5, isn't it? Or is it just the +5?
It's
It's
a
plus 10.
That's what it is.
Now we'll see if those boots of elven kind were worth the investment to counteract my skill mail.
19 and a 19. And a 26.
Alright,
And a 37 for Jade. He's gone. 23,
so-
27. Yeah, you're all pretty damn stealthy.
I get a plus 10 to this. Is that how this works?
Yep.
All right, let's see how I rolled.
You're gonna roll a 1. You watch it.
Yeah. I did, but I rolled it over and beyond, so it didn't fire through because the thing wasn't set up. So I'm gonna hit the roll again. If it happens for good rolls, it happens for bad rolls too, right?
26 and a 19. There we are. So, the team is creeping their way through the bramble, silently moving without too much trouble.
Out of curiosity, are we moving at full speed or half speed for stealth?
Probably half speed, right?
It's half speed. Jade's roll goes even higher. This dude's a nightmare for hiding. Oh, right, and Crickendall, the bearded devil, I put him on the map, but I doubt he's coming. He's probably at the ship.
Yeah.
Watch the ship, buddy.
Same as
Usually
usual.
his job. Yeah, I don't see any reason why we wouldn't be going at half speed. We don't exactly have to rush through here.
And it's a creepy walk for Fluminoxus, but nothing seen as you go through. Very quiet, very creepy. Besides the carrion that fly in between the trees. I love the slow map reveal that this thing does. And you come now to another fork in the road. You can continue to the west, where a path diverges north and south, or continue to the north.
Nice.
Northish, because
Yeah.
we want to be heading in.
Makes sense. I guess I should probably bring my token along at some point. I was just kind of... there we go. Kind of awkward to put it through this.
Oh, it's dark, man.
Oh, I can't trip.
Have we hit a dead end?
No, I just was waiting for people to catch up. Well, I was kind of looking because there is like that little nook there, but I assume, Alan, there's nothing of note there.
Right? Yeah, I know.
Yeah, just move right into the position so you can see the comes to a dead end. This path. Now just a quick moment as we do come to that dead end. Why don't you go ahead then, Fluminoxus, and roll me a d4 to see what you found at this dead end.
Ooh, okay.
Meanwhile, I'm gonna eat a muffin.
Anyone else worried?
What was that, John?
Slow word.
Oof, as you make it through the brambles, you notice the area around you suddenly begins to tremble as the brambles themselves shift, twist, and turn. If you all want to get yourselves a little closer into a sort of marching order, or at least relatively close to where they are.
If I can. There we go. It is very difficult to move along this. Yeah.
Very, very thin spaces, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, number wouldn't be quite the last, but he's needed back.
So as you all position yourselves and get into the ready spaces, you notice that from the trees themselves, twisted, horrible, shambling mounds arise, ready to attack, tearing forth from their horrid brambles as they come at you. So, in the immortal words of Alan, get ready to roll for initiative, everybody. Courtney, if you go to page number 2, the 2 swords, you will see all the characters listed. And there's a nice little green circle around the characters representing their present health. You can click the dice by your character, and it'll roll your initiative for you in here. I would recommend everyone checks to make sure everything's put in there. If it's missing like some big bonus you're supposed to get, let me know.
So if you right-click on the swords, it'll actually pop out the combat tracker if you'd like.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it used to be double-click would do the same. The only one you actually can't pop out, for some reason, is the chat bubble. Like, the one I wish you could, you can't.
Yeah. I noticed that, and it's annoying. It's the one thing I want to be able to pop out.
It's so dark.
Yes, I have the map set to darkness to make it look like nighttime, since it's so dark inside of this forest. I could technically make it daytime and, brighten things up and bring out the sunlight and maybe put love upon the world once again so we can all feel the light within the travesty of all of these things. But no, we're going back to the darkness.
Not as hell.
I would like to point out my book is manifest, so we do have the 10 feet of light.
Sorry about that one. You got a good one on us. You were saying you've got the light spell for that one, right?
No. So like my manifest mind, like while it's manifest, it does project light for 10 feet. Yeah, 10 sheds dim light in a 10-foot radius.
Oh shoot, it's super dark. I didn't mean to make it quite that dark here. About there should do.
Yeah.
Not quite
It just
nighttime.
got darker for me. It was good, and then it got darker.
Yep, nighttime is even darker than this. I accidentally set it to nighttime while I was flicking back. I keep it at about 75% darkness for this, to represent dusk. I've also changed your character's visions, so nobody has bright vision anymore, you might have noticed. You all just have vision out to whatever the heck. This is so you can see the light sources and see how things work, as opposed to just having to deal with it. Now, on that note, we are going to begin combat. And this is going to be a fun time, because it's combat. With that, first up is Damokos.
Alright. So, first thing he's gonna do, he's gonna smack the one right in front of him using his staff. Just gonna make sure the VTT is connected because it did disconnect on me for some reason before. Alright. Gonna... Where's the button? Oh, that's weird. I do that. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't, have an attack button for some reason.
So it's just listing your staff's abilities, then?
Yeah, it's...
Just use it off your character sheet in here. If you go in, you can click on staff as striking dice.
I think I looked and the bonus was wrong when I, my attack was way lower for some reason when I looked at the sheet. Yeah, it considers me to have a +8 to attack with my staff of striking. But in beyond, I have a +14. So, which would be consistent because my other core staff is a +13. So,
I think
can
they
just
don't
type
have it as a default that type of staff. Since you can hold it as one, just override it. Here.
Yeah. I could just type it out for now. So it's a 21 to hit.
Yeah, 21's going to be a hit against the shambling mound.
Alright, I'm going to spend a point of key and to have it give me a Constitution saving throw for stunning strike. DC 16.
Yep, just 1 second here. Oh, that broke. Your character is a little busted. I clicked one button and it gave you a +35 on that, so I'm just going to re-import. A 21 is a hit, and I'll have it roll a con save here in just a second once the computer's finished recalculating your character sheet in. Because it kind of locks me from doing things while it does that. There you go. Plus 13 on your quarterstaff, plus 8 for staff of striking. Should be a plus 14, but
Yeah.
that's a plus 6.
Yeah,
It's
it
an
is.
easy thing to put in manually. I'm not too worried. So then for the Shambling Mound, that is a hit, and we're going to roll its con save to see how it does.
Oh yeah, also should do some damage to it.
And it fails its con save, so that's 14 points of damage as you strike the Shambling Mound.
Question: can I see? Because when I click on my token, I can only see the mound directly next to me, and I think it's because I'm in a little bit of a wedge.
Yep.
In terms of vision blockers, can I actually see the other two, or am I like currently unaware of them?
You notice there's a wall directly behind your character? I just moved him so you can see it. So
It's kind of hard to make out. Like
it is
yeah,
tricky
like,
to see, but there's a wall directly behind your character, so
Oh, okay,
no,
that
your
is a
vision is
wall, yeah.
completely blocked. You cannot
Okay.
see this guy over here, but you can see this one here, and thanks to there being a wall right here, your vision's perfectly blocked against the other one. But you can hear that you're very heavily surrounded. Very tight woods, right? That's why I like these vision lines. They kind of make it easy for that. So you do belt this guy for one good hit. He's now stunned.
Yeah. And I take it I take it like flying isn't something I can really get away with here. In this bramble. Again, this is too thick for me to actually get any altitude, right?
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to get very high. You could hover at your present height, but that would be about it. You're not going to be able to jump lines or do anything like that. Unfortunately, the worst case scenario for your flight capacity, right?
Yep. Alright, well since he doesn't really have a clear idea of where the other things are at the moment, he's gonna just keep hammering at the one in front of him.
Alrighty, so give us another roll.
Yep.
Add
give me
advantage
another
since it's stunned.
Yep, second attack with the staff. 19 to hit. I guess advantage, right?
Yep.
Okay, 32 to hit.
That is a hit, so go ahead and roll your damage.
Man, this feels like the IRC day where I had to type all my rolls. 11 damage, and gonna spend a point of key, and I'm going to do a flurry of blows.
Okay. So roll your attack rolls. Those should roll fine.
Yeah, this one works normal. Yeah, with advantage. So 19 to hit.
A 19 is a hit.
12 damage. And I'm gonna have it give me a. Sorry, I have to refresh myself on exactly which one it was. I believe it was Dex save, but where is it? Been a little bit since I've done this. I'm looking for my martial arts. Is it martial arts? Is it? No, it's where am I looking for? It's the feature. Sorry, I'm having a little trouble finding the feature on my sheet. Open hand technique. Here it is. Yeah. Have him give me a DC 16 dex save. Does being stunned affect that?
Don't know. How well do you know you're stunned? Because you've had that question pop up 3 times.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's been we've missed a couple of. Yeah, it automatically fails dex saves. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Sorry, it's just like I said, it's been we've had a bit of a break, and my brain has just kind of dumped some of the important information to retain.
So as a refresher, it's incapacitated, so it also gains those things, and it cannot do strength or dex saves. Automatically fails them, and attack rolls have advantage. As for the notations for incapacitated, as a quick reminder for those as well, to list those directly, an incapacitated creature cannot take actions or reactions. So.
Yep. Alright, well, then it fails its dex save, so it falls prone.
Yep.
And I'm gonna punch it one more time. So. Roll advantage. 25 to hit, and for 10 damage.
And that's a hit for 10, as it takes 10 points of damage.
I mean, this is more of a formality at this point, but I will also remove its ability to make reactions. Using open hand technique. I mean, it's already incapacitated, but if it somehow becomes unincapacitated, there it is.
Yep.
I think that will be my turn.
Alrighty. And don't forget, you got the option to end turn.
Sorry, I'm not used to the end turn button somehow. I know it's a thing, and it happens every single time we have a fight. I still always forget that I have to click it at the end of my turn.
And you probably noticed, Courtney, as it came to your turn, you got flashing lights saying, your turn, popping up, and now you have a little icon around your character.
Yeah.
That icon just indicates whose turn it is, but if I move your character, and I'm going to wheelie move your character here, you'll notice a little icon left behind, showing where you started your turn. Comes in handy when you're in Big Dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll also have a pop-up box that gives you the option to end your turn, usually around the top right, but I'm not too worried about that. That's why I just gave the reminder, don't forget to end your turn, Damocos.
Well, it's also, I do that like every single gig session. At least once I forget to end my turn.
So, Bellamy, unlike everybody else, you have a clear line of view of all three of them given your present position.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to...
Oh, and I'm sure you noticed.
Bonus action.
If you hover over an enemy, it'll also tell you their health status. Right now, you see the shambling mound is barely injured, but the other ones are uninjured.
Mm-hmm.
I like that add-on. I never tell you an enemy's health, but I really like that little feature, because you can tell with a glance how they're looking now. If you ask the DM, it's like, how are they looking? They look about a 12 out of 50.
I'm going to... okay. I'm gonna go with Sacred Flame.
Ooh.
And, the one right in front of me. So... do that.
Oh, that's a nice roll of damage for that one.
Mm-hmm.
He has to make a dexterity save.
Oh my. Now, you notice how these brambles shamble. By some fluke, you've never seen one move so quick and so perfect before. With an unbelievable talent as he critically dodges at the last second.
That's a damn shame. Okay.
Is it no damage if it dodges? Yeah, no damage if it dodges. Damn. I was hoping for half damage on a dodge, but unfortunately, no. I rolled a 20 on its dodge, so... If I show you, all you're going to see is a 19. It won't show the 1d20 minus 1. Or it shouldn't, unless that add-on doesn't work. Does anyone see the math, or does it just show 19?
It shows 19.
I don't see anything.
I don't see anything.
Oh, I put it up in the
there
chat.
it is. It didn't... The scroll didn't automatically follow.
Oh, yeah, it's because when you reveal things hidden, if it's at the bottom, it won't. It's an error with the VTT. Yeah, that was a crit roll. It got a 20 on that one, which means it gets a -1 on its dex save, which means you did the best move. I just got so lucky.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me very happy. Which is a real shame, because that's your character's first attack.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm going to bonus action Spiritual Weapon.
Ooh.
Against one over here that's already taken a little bit of damage.
Alright, so I'm going to grab this flying sword, and I'm going to use that as the spiritual weapon, but I'm going to put it out of bounds, just so it's there. You can all see it this way, but it's definitely out of bounds. A spiritual weapon doesn't take up a space, so it can go anywhere, and you can walk through its space without any trouble. Same for standard floating weapons. Old rules we went over that you don't have to worry about dealing with. Oh, good job! But I mean, like, you crit on me, I crit on you.
Oh.
10 plus 1, that's unfortunate, but it's still a hit.
Yeah.
That was the previously damaged one, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'll lay those damages on as your spiritual weapon slices into the shambling mound.
Just barely.
Foundry has that roll 20 energy to its rolls right now.
It really does. 21, 21, max damage, min damage, my god.
Yeah.
Alright, it is now Rhea's turn. And Jade, since you might be away from us for a little while, why don't you go ahead and decide what Rhea's doing on her turn?
Attacking the one in front of her because she's pinned in there. There's a wall beside her.
Oh yeah, so you go ahead then and have her swing that mighty Vorpal sword. Oh, I'll also note for anyone who doesn't like staying on the chat window too much, if you're on a different window when something comes up, you'll get a pop-up on the far left side. Little add-ins. Vorpal Sword with a 26 to hit drives into the front of the shambling mound as Rhea connects with a mighty blow. And she gives 15 points of damage to the shambling mound, nailing it as it growls, leaning back.
The one attack or two that she gets.
She gets 2. She does have multi-attack. If she had a short sword in the offhand, she'd be able to do 3, but until she gets another level, she's limited to 2. At level 15, she'll get 3. Flex will get 4, I think.
Yeah, Fighter's the only one, I think, who gets 4 attacks in their attack action. Yeah.
Most classes don't break 2.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, actually, I think they're also the only ones who get 3 as well, so...
Jillian had 4 attacks with the bonus action, soon it'll be 5. My god, it'll make you strong. Alrighty. 15 for the first hit. Give us a roll for Rhea's second swing of that Vorpal Sword. Ah, so close. What is that, like an 18, 19? 18. So close to the 20. Mind you, I'd have to say a shambling mound can't be killed by having its head removed, but wowza, that'd be damage. So you go ahead and roll the damage on that one for her hit with the second hit for 13 points of damage as Rhea continues to chop off pieces of the bramble with her Vorpal Sword. She even takes a moment, looks at Flux, just mouths without actually saying it, "I really like this sword, thank you," and keeps chopping. Because, you know, it's the nearest fighter to her that you can see. That's it for Rhea's turn then, I would assume?
Yes.
Alrighty, I have to manually move forward because the pop-up doesn't come up for her. Now it's Jade's turn. I will say, this area here, you can squeeze into with all the negative penalties that come from doing so.
No, I'm just going to go to the open spot in Abracadabra.
Okie dokie. And you have advantage on that Abracadabra. Courtney, Abracadabra means he's going to sneak attack.
Love it.
Quite a powerful spell.
So he drives in with Honeysickle, the legendary blade that he carries. For a 29, that's definitely a hit. Shoot, how close was that? A 4 and a 16. God. High-level players, my word. It's also prone, but that doesn't help you much. Jade just rushes in and stabs straight with Honeysickle into the chest of the monster.
Out of curiosity, doesn't prone automatically make it crit?
Oh no, I don't think.
No,
It'll
that's
just give you...
unconscious.
It just reduces their capacities, yeah. If they're unconscious, then you can, because it's basically coup de grace at that point. But only their movement option is available to crawl, and it would take disadvantage on its attack rolls, and attack rolls against it have advantage. Otherwise, attack rolls actually have disadvantage if you're not within 5 feet of them.
Yeah.
So range is a bit of a pain when someone's prone, but fun stuff. So Jade gets his attack. Too bad it wasn't crit, this would hurt a lot. You go ahead and roll up that nasty, nasty damage. I fixed your sneak attack on your character. It should come up with damage now when you select it. But, I mean, you put it in there for 35 points. Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah, I still manually roll it because Honeysickle add the d6 to that, so that's an extra d6 I'd have to roll anyways, so...
One of the green arms flies through the air as you chop it off. It roars as a new one grows in its place, or maybe the vines just formed to create it, writhing in pain on the ground. And then a shot with your short sword. A 25 is definitely a hit, like striking the broadside of a barn. Three points of damage.
And I
Plus
need...
apply damage, and you need a save, is it con save? Yep. Perfect, let me give you a con save.
15.
It fails! It takes an additional 1 point of damage. And this also means that it's poisoned with that negative
wounded.
Wounded, sorry. I don't think there is a specific one here for wounded, so I'm just taking a look. I'm going to use a fun one. There we go. Put some bleed on there. And now, with the end of your turn, comes the shambling mound in the top corner, which is going to roar angrily as it stares at Rhea. The only thing to hit it so far. It's going to make a slam attack against Rhea. And you see the gigantic monstrosity sledgehammer her. Flux might even jump back a foot as the massive green appendages slam. Pulls back, and Rhea is standing there, shield held up, pushing the vines back, unaffected. Too strong. And the second slam attack it comes in with. Wow, I rolled the exact same dice twice. Same exact effect. Just slamming into her repeatedly. Rhea looking over at Flux and just gives a nod saying, I really like the armor too. Yeah. That's it for the Shambling Mound's turn. And now it's the Shambling Mound's turn. And it's stunned. So that's it for the Shambling Mound's turn.
The stunned one? That's
And
the
it
one in
takes-
front of me.
Takes 1d4, right?
Con save, or it takes the d4.
Perfect. And it's probably going to fail that con save, because you know. It fails! 1d4 points of bleeding damage. You go ahead and roll that up for me. And then after that, it is Nimbar's turn. We'll probably only get through the run round of combat today and pick this up next week, because it's already time. Let's see here. 3 points of damage as it gets even further injured.
This is necrotic damage.
Oh yeah.
Just in case they're immune to that or something.
Not at all.
So Nimbar is going to pull out not the scroll he wrote, but the scroll he makes at the end of his long rest, and cast a level 2 magic missile from it.
Pew pew without using up slots. Who are you targeting?
Yeah. We're going to do. He's barely injured. This one's uninjured. We're just gonna send them all at this one here. The
Over here?
uninjured one. This guy, I can target him.
So you go ahead and let him fly. Nimbar did not ask how many enemies they are, he just casts magic missile.
It's not linking up for some reason. That's awkward. Okay, but that's fine. Magic missile doesn't target. I've noticed for some reason, Foundry does not add my magic items to my spell attack. Which is kind of weird.
Yeah, because tricky.
Yeah, so cast level 2. I'll just put my spell slot back up. Just so that way. So yeah, it's going to target that.
So you give that damage roll.
Okay, it's going to...
Each one?
Sorry, I didn't realize it was going to do each one individually.
That's all good.
Yeah.
So 14 points of damage. As your bolts, the 4 of them, strike the shambling mound, which recoils and roars in anger.
And it's my turn.
Alright. Anything for the... now, the wonderful thing about familiars is they can't actually attack, but they do hit the combat order because... Anything special for him, or is he just, hanging out and staying quiet?
He'll just go invisible and hide. Just hide further down my back. Just put the armor between him and the mount.
I put a little link on to show that he's invisible.
Nice. Okay, so do I end the familiar's turn, or is that
Oh yeah,
You
since
can
you have control. I have to end Rhea's turn because it doesn't pop up for anyone. No one owns that character, right? But the familiar you do own because I give you full power.
So the guy right in front of me,
And when you saw sledgehammering Rhea and she's standing there like, wow, I'm tough now.
yeah, that's our Rhea. Let's cast Blight on this.
Real quick, Alan, did you do the damage I did to the uninjured one?
Over
Because
here?
that's the one that's the one I target. Okay, because it just says uninjured.
Yeah.
Even though it took the damage. Alright.
It is. That's because uninjured doesn't necessarily mean it's at max health, but very close to.
Oh.
It's a percentage thing,
Okay.
right? And
Alright,
yeah,
I thought it just automatically
usually
to barely.
this is the first enemy with high enough health and low enough initial damage done that it's stuck with uninjured.
Okay. Perfect. I just wanted to make sure it was done to the right one. Sorry.
It's a good way to notice, though, that the enemy does have strength. But yeah, no, I definitely did. I have bars underneath them and everywhere to show me, just so I don't make those mistakes. I had to do that one manually because of all the bloody rolls.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, that's not your fault, that's Foundry. And I mean, we're limited. We find these things as we go, but so many options. Right, yes, we are using Blight, which is a DC 20 con save.
It makes it at disadvantage because I assume it's a plant creature.
Yeah, it's a plant. It is a plant.
Yeah.
Blight is a good thing to hit it with. And it does fail its save. And that's 50 points of necrotic damage. And any other bad effects afterwards?
I think it's just...
They make saving throw with disadvantage, and the spell do... No! You didn't read that close enough.
What do you mean?
You didn't read your damage layout close enough. If you target a plant or creature with a magical plant, it makes a saving throw with disadvantage, and if it fails, it deals maximum damage.
Oh. Okay.
That's 72 points of guaranteed damage to the shambling mound as you blast it straight to hell. Literally.
Well,
Nice.
Its body withering and crinkling and turning blackened as it whimpers. So badly injured, but somehow still standing.
Okay, I can't believe I missed that bit.
That's powerful, hey?
mm.
Good use on that one. That's what we call getting super lucky. It's like, you're using Blight. Doesn't it just do max on plants? I'm thinking, so I open it up like, yes it does! Oh, yes it does.
As well, we so very rarely fight plants.
Rhea's sort of looking on. Looks at her blade, looks at you, and nods.
Okay, in that case then I'll just bonus action Shillelagh to bring it up, and that'll be my turn.
Alrighty. Now, Fluminoxus, with a brand new weapon, ready to see first blood. As you can tell, this enemy is badly injured. Dean just hit it with a Kamehameha wave.
So I can't see my character.
Oh shoot!
Try hitting escape on your keyboard.
You might be off the grid. Let me just.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
and
that.
then move you back. And then
I see it now.
Perfect.
Okay, so this guy's badly injured.
Oh yeah.
I'll shout out, "Where's the other one?" and I'll take a swing.
Big old swing from your hammer of thunderbolts. So you go, it hits. For 19 points of damage as you drive through, sending pieces of Detria's wood and bramble through the air. The creature whimpering as it starts to recoil backwards, very near death.
Alright, I'll attack it again then, if it's not dead yet.
Swing number 2, Electric Boogaloo. That's a hit for 27. For 20 points of damage as you sledgehammer a second time into the mound, which recoils, cries out, and dies.
Hey!
Did anyone answer me when I asked where the other one was?
Alec would I don't
Point
know
in two
if we had
directions?
time, but just like kind of sweep his arm and go behind us.
Okay.
I'm gonna
So
pull this
I'll
enemy
go-
off the screen though, just so you know you can move through its space.
So I'll go. Oh, that was weird. It just popped up as my turn again. 5, 15.
20 and... Yeah, you could get to... I think about here is the only real open space for attacking.
Can I get there? I think
Yep.
I can.
Because you can go through ally space 20-25, right? You just can't end
Yeah,
your
but
turn there. One.
it technically counts as difficult terrain going through your ally.
Which
Does
bring
it?
it up to
Yeah.
30.
I counted 15 to get to there because it was 5, and then moving through Alex space was 15, and then another 10 is 25, and then 30, I guess. I don't know. I think I have enough space.
Yeah, I think
Yep,
you have
you
just
have
enough.
Yeah,
just
yeah,
enough.
enough.
Because
It's all my movement, but okay. And
here's your 5,
I'll-
and then another 10 to go to there, but it's not going to show correctly. Then 5 to get to here brings you to 20.
Yeah.
And then 10 to get to here is 30. As you're literally moving through allies, like move, move, move.
Yeah.
I got a hammer. You kind of
and
step over
step
the gnome.
over
though.
Nimbar. Yeah.
See that? Great minds think alike. Alright. So you go ahead and charge in and give a swing, and a 30 is most certainly a hit. Bellamy, who just cast some magic and was doing some spells on the thing, like, you're not going to mess with me, I'll slice these in half. You see a monster charge by you and just slam into the shambling mound for 14 damage, sinking its health even lower.
I'm gonna re-roll that damage because of
Ooh.
Great Weapon Master.
You get to do that, that's handy.
Nice.
Oh, with Great Weapon Master, you reroll every time you roll a 1 or a 2. So
Yeah, I
both-
haven't rolled any ones yet.
And a 2, I think, too, isn't it?
I think it's just it counts as 1 damage.
Great.
So like because it's one weapon that does 2 dice. So I think that's my reroll.
Yeah, great weapon fighting. You can reroll a 1 or a 2 on a damage dice.
Yeah, or a 2. Yeah.
So you reroll both of them. It doesn't mean you only... I don't think it rerolls only 1 dice. You can roll all of them, I think.
Yeah, it rerolls the attack. Yeah.
So
I
you
know.
can reroll
I'm
both
rolling
that 2
2
and the
more.
1. Ooh,
Yeah, it's still not very good.
You still keep the 2 because the new one has to be forced, so that's 5 total. It's still better. 2 more damage is 2 more damage.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll add that on.
Plus whatever the bonus is.
It goes from 14 to 16. Because
Yeah,
thankfully your previous attack was still there and it's very close, so whew, saves me the math. Not that I don't like doing math, but if I can be lazy, I choose to be lazy. It's, too many things to monitor.
Has anyone taken damage yet?
Nope. Well, my guys have.
Yeah.
One's dead.
I know your guys' have.
He didn't even get his
Um,
turn, man. Well, he did. He tried to kill Rhea. Right.
I'll do it just because. Actually, no, I'm gonna save it. Never mind. No, that's the end of my turn. I will hit the end turn button. I was just trying to think if I should use a rally, but there's no point. I'll save my superiority die.
Alrighty. And I'm assuming that's it for Sir Junior as well for this turn.
He's gonna turn invisible, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll give him the same little pop-up on top so you know he's invisible. I like those little things.
Yeah.
That's it for Sir Junior, and we drop over. The next one up is our shambling mound, who's barely injured, as we prepare ourselves to finish for today, because we'll come back and finish more tomorrow. It's roaring in anger at Fluminoxus as it rears up to try and slam her as well. Holy fudge, it hit you. Got it. It actually hit you. I am amazed. Because you have 21 AC, we said?
Yeah.
My word. You take 15 points of damage as it slams against you hard, and then comes in for
Okay.
a second strike. And barely misses you. Wow, this one's rolling like a dream against you, but a miss is a miss.
I'll use riposte on that one.
Ooh. You've never seen such a smooth maneuver, I'll say, for Bellamy, because she literally dances around the attack and brings her hammer up, more like a blade than anything else, with the speed and finesse of a trained master in combat, uppercutting the poor shambling mound with the hard side of the handle of the hammer. for 18 points of further damage as it stumbles backwards. Still on its feet.
Plus a D10, I believe.
Right, for your
Jeez.
superiority die.
Ooh, hang on, I hit the wrong.
As the higher the levels go, the more the fighter's damage increases, because can you see the amount of damage these spellcasters pull? 70 some to just for the fun of it. Another 7 points of damage for the extra.
Yeah, so that'll be 25 total.
And with that, the Shambling Mound is going to whimper as its turn comes to an end.
Yeah, its turn.
It's like, how did that happen? I was supposed to hit you, not the other way around. But mind you, it's more like, because it doesn't have language. Beast in combat. And I'll say, as we start over, both of the imps are going to say, guys, he still sees me. I notice. I waved my hand a bit. The dude's he's got better sight than all of us. So being invisible doesn't seem to make a difference. So it either has true sight or blind sight. Fair warning. But we are about 15 minutes over, and I usually don't mind. I don't try to go too far over our allotted time. So with that, we'll take a pause for today's session, because combat will pause mid-combat as we are on round 2. I'm just going to scroll the battle music out now that it's hit a nice spot to stop. And that is pretty much that. So next week when we pick back up, as you all begin to murder those... as we continue this combat against the Shambling Mounds. High-level players, right? I love seeing the damage rolls and the nice abilities.
Courtney apparently just lost power.
Oh.
Oh.
Timing
That's
couldn't have been better,
unfortunate.
but that really sucks. Whereabouts is she? Is she in? Well, don't.
She's
tell me
in
that
Coal
after
Harbor.
Okay, yeah. Oh no, that's not. I'm at Micmac. That's not too far. Don't tell me that. Oh, that sucks. She lost power. Jeez. Oof. Well, I'll have the recording put up so she'll get to see the ending, because we are at the end for today. And with that, as mentioned, we will probably be without Dan for a little while. I'll run your character on autopilot, Dan. You know, I'll steal everything and kill everything with backstabbies. I'll try not to pull any dusty maneuvers, though.
Yeah, and as I said, I think I might be able to help out with the problem, so I think you should be able to. I just have to check on a couple things.
Oh, perfect. Dan, you still there? You still got power?
Oh yeah, I'm still fine.
Perfect. We're all so far and spread out, I have to check.
Yeah, like I was surprised that it's a power outage. It's the deal there.
That's so unfortunate with the weather, though. But